And what's going on, gang? Welcome back to the Misplay for Game podcast. As always, I'll be your host here, Andrew or Elixir.
Hey, what's up, the internet? It's Tom. I'm the TommyNT. Glad to be back for number 10, baby. Double digits.
We made it.
Hey, it's me, Marcio, here again for the double digito. You know what I really like, guys? Digimon. Digimon's pretty cool. Except for the second time Mirage has won an event, guys. Can we start reading what Mirage cards do?
It ain't happening.
And we have a guest.
Hey, which side do I need to be? This side? There we go. I got invited again for some reason, somehow.
It's for the Boko later.
Yeah. We haven't decided what color we're doing for the Boko, but you know, we've done some of them. And bonus content will be coming out for members at the champion tier very, very soon. I just need to edit some more of it. In fact, Boko's actually started coming out for regular people as well that haven't gotten the members. And you know what the coolest thing that's come out that regular people now have access to? The DP- video. Please go and watch it. I put several months of work into it. It was supposed to be done in 1 month. It took longer. It is what it is. But yeah, it's out. People are watching it. Doing well.
You got me with the readable and shrinkable.
Oh yeah.
That was spoilers for the video, but he was on his A game.
Yeah, I was. Who would have thought that the sausage pipe thing was going to get multiple uses? But here we are.
The sausage
not the
grinder.
pipe, not the.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I can just copy and paste. It was pretty cool. But yeah, we have
Yep.
we have I've hit refresh. It's like this button. Yeah, we Reddit post. DP- is broken, but we kind of need it. Video essay. Y'all should I don't know, upvote it in the Reddit and then actually watch the video. It's a fun time.
If you're here live, it's in the YouTube chat. I don't think YouTube likes URLs, but good luck with that. Get in there. We want to see numbers.
Yeah.
What's it at right now? Is it 7 upvotes?
Yeah, we're at 7 upvotes. And
Yeah, that better be at 11 when we're done recording, y'all.
well, we broke 200 already on videos as far as YouTube goes. So we're looking to push that. 9K people saw it last time, so we want that number again, preferably as soon as possible. But yeah, that's kind of most of the shilling. But if you want to get videos early, the memberships helps everyone out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, or listening to an Apple podcast, make sure to rate us where you can on all the things. Jamie's getting griefed by his camera. Not that it matters because
I'm trying to figure it out. Bear with.
We're heading back to this scene anyway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys, as always. We've got some cool stuff to talk about. There was hella Digimon events, some of them using modified rule sets, and some of them your standard, I'm gonna win me a Blitz Omni serial type of.
I like the weekends where it's like NA event plus EU event. I think those are like pretty
They are demonstrably easier for us to keep track of than LATAM event plus OCE event though.
Yeah,
like,
those are
I don't have to be up really late at night trying to watch Australian players figure out a Deva mirror.
Okay, Chaos Sushi with the Prime. Big up those men.
Huge.
Coming through with
Use
the
your
T1.
primes.
Yeah, big fan. Also, yeah, primes. You can get a little blue bar to go through that, which is straight up a tier 1. Makes everything purple. Big fan of the reactive overlay. Hope you guys enjoy it. And thanks for the tier 1. Everyone else that's supporting the channel, appreciate you as well. And
We've also got a
support your creators.
There's a suggestion that there might be some April Fool's stuff going on. And listen, it's possible. I'm not going to hold you guys. It's not a bit that we made it to 10 episodes, but it is a bit that we haven't expanded. You know, there's a lot of games out there that you can misplay in. So, you know, we just like to keep our options open. That's all I'm saying. Oh, look at all these primes. Dang, primes coming through.
Yeah, big fan. Appreciate y'all.
Tom, it's gone past 12 o'clock though. We can't do April Fools anymore.
Yeah, well, we are a multi-region podcast. I know we're all from the UK, but, you know, hella Digimon audience is from the US.
It's 35 minutes to noon in California right now.
Yeah, and we're just going to change our time zone with each one to make it viable. And half the people watching on YouTube, it will be like April 2nd or later.
This is not a bit, by the way. I did not know that that was a thing about April Fool's Day, that you have to do it in the morning.
Yeah, that's why I slept through till 12 today, so I missed all the stuff.
Smart. Yeah, very funny.
My
I
favorite.
was not ready to get caught by all of the Twitter bait that I always do.
Yeah, getting punked on March 31st though because of time zones kind of sucks ass.
That was me yesterday. I got so upset. We got Luftic in the chat pointing it out. But yesterday, one of the artists for the Digimon TCG stuff, like they had retweeted a post that I'd seen. I can't remember who it is. I don't want to riz them and then for it to be wrong. But the post was that like we're finally getting an official Digimon X Tamagotchi crossover, and it was like Agumon was just gonna be a Tamagotchi. And then there was like a line of them where they were all wearing like Digimon costumes. I was like, that looks so dope. Yeah. And then I checked, and it was from like, let's call it 10 a.m. in Japan. I was like, oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Unlucky. One day.
In terms of reveals, though, the only thing we got was like a Muchomon on April 1st. Like, not even like a.
It's not bad. We haven't done like a starter.
I thought like maybe like Bandai would like fuck with us a little bit, but no, we just got Muchomon.
Yeah,
it's as close as we're gonna get.
We can only ask so much of them, man. I think like
Generic
sometimes I get
piercing
worried.
though on rookie is like
the
worst.
It's the first one, right? It's the first rookie piercing in here.
On a rookie, I think so.
Very excited. We also finally got high def scans of the other promos from the whatever store champ tamer battle a million that we're on.
Is it the 1 year mod?
Yeah, but also the
card.
Munomon for me and the 9 other Virus Imperial players who are out there.
What is
cards we will never get on time?
Huh?
What does the promo 1 year do? Because I only know BT.
If you are a Nature Spirits tagged to Digimon, draw one.
Sure, whatever, bro.
This
so
is for EX8,
like
I think.
Yeah, we're presumably.
No, sorry, EX7.
Yes, because 6 is.
Yeah, 6 is the one.
Because we're getting Eldoradomon again as like a real Digimon this time, which is tight.
Nature Spirits.
Nature Spirit. It's like from the VPET.
When are we gonna get? My big question is like, when are we gonna get like Tiger Vespamon? You know.
I mean, we're gonna get it when we get another Cyber Sleuth set, right? There's like, what else is in there that's not been explored in green yet? There's like, we might get a Terriermon and a Palmon because those are the 2 of the starters. But like, if they're gonna commit to one line, surely it's the bug.
I'll be curious. Do you think we're gonna get Grimmon first from like Dawn and Dusk and like the Chronomon stuff, or do you think we'll get Eaters?
Oh, Eaters for sure. That game sold way more copies than Dawn and Dusk. I love Dawn and Dusk, but like, people are gonna be very much excited to see it. For a team to make me dab, I got this one, boys. Stand back.
Oh, damn.
Oh, dude, I hit that so hard, the screen transition.
Yeah, it was clean.
Alicante Results. Did I see that? Is that a spoiler?
Is that a spoiler? Is that what we're going to be getting onto? It's like,
I'm down for it. We've given the people some. Let's talk some Digimon. I want to first point out, obviously, how exciting it is that we had. I think it was I think it's the biggest European regional so far, which was pretty cool. Let me pull that number up really quick so I have the exact thing to tell people. 188 players were there on the day and made registration.
Very, very nice.
Pretty tight. Very happy with it. I will say it was kind of an interesting format. I'll go ahead and drop the link here in our personal pod chat so you guys can have that for your own review and any putting it on stream that might happen. But Alicante was really neat. The metagame breakdown was a lot kind of it was a European twist on the thing we already understand about the format, which is that Europe likes hybrid decks and Europe likes blue. So
it's the joke about like NA blue, but it's actually Europe blue.
Yeah. Well, Europe likes like blue dog.
Also, Jamie's not even in here.
Oh, did I press the shift button again? There we go. He's back.
There you go.
I'm vanished. Camera's griefing me. I'm
bang,
vanished.
bang, and the stain is gone.
Where have I gone now? What's going on here?
We're gonna go ahead and say that Jamie missing for a second there was the redeem of Shoot Jamie being put into use.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
You guys are gonna save your channel points for some stuff coming up later, though.
True.
Potential idea.
So I mean,
yeah, let's talk
second one for Mirage.
Yeah, so this is I'm gonna go ahead and go through. If you want to switch to the metagame tab there, Andrew, come up up on the top.
I did not even. Wow. Okay.
Limitless is the bomb and should be the default tournament platform for everything anyone uses. I don't understand. Pokemon has had this figured out for the better part of a decade. So Red Hybrid, most represented deck, followed by Levia and Nume in a joint third. Mirage, D-Brigade, Fenrir at 12, making them joint 6th, is how that works. And then Shine at 7th with 9 players, and Yellow Hybrid at 8th. So it's an interesting one, very top heavy. It's not, if you ask the European players, it doesn't seem to be as wide a meta as you'd think it is. There are some notable missing pieces here. You'll have to scroll quite a long way down to find Terriermon at all. People did not trust it and did not bring it to the event. Davis, despite being hot off the win in OCE with multiple tops and top 8 there, is 5 entrants further down behind SetCon. And the one I thought was really interesting was that I want to give a special shout out to the Vemmon player. Some guy brought Galactimon, which
That's
is
funny.
so tight.
I love that
That's kinda
Monkey
cool,
Business is just the official
Yeah, that's
name
foul.
for-
Yeah,
for
Monkey
Wait,
Business
where
is
is
cool.
what?
Well, they can't call it Poop Deck.
Well, they could have just called
They
it
just call it
Etamon.
Etamon, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but Monkey Business.
Monkey Business is pretty
Oolong
big.
and Ruin Mode in it. Jeez.
So if you look at the standings, there's a couple of things that, like, as we're playing more and more of this format, which is like a brand new unexplored format, that format is getting solved, like as it should do, which is that Mirage is doing better over time,
Mhm.
and then the top like 5 decks, I want to say it's like Mirage, Deva, Nume, Levia,
And then SetCon.
and like Secon or like Red Hybrid, or there's like a couple of them. But for example, Red Hybrid was once again like the most represented deck into like 20 players brought Red Hybrid, but it didn't convert that well.
Yeah.
I think it got like 1 top 16, maybe 2.
1 top 16, and then the second one is at 17th. But it
Right,
only
so
also
one
had
bubble.
one
Right.
bubble to 17th, and then 1 in 8th place. So Red Hybrid is having the challenge kind of brought to it again.
It's
I also think
interesting
the
as
SetCon
well.
this. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just because like we're seeing a decent like 6 Machine Dramon is pretty big. Like Machining is one of those weird places where you're kind of just hoping that you queue into all the Red Hybrid players, but then you just accept that they flip a Blue Sunamon and you lose the game.
Yeah, even like Fenrir, you think like Fenrir is like a really good deck, but Fenrir is for this event specifically, it got 2 top 16s, no top 8.
Yeah, 12,
So-
15th.
Yeah, it's like a deck that you can top 16 with, but it's very hard to win because, you know, like Mirage has a decent matchup into Fenrir.
I think the other thing that we started to see in the format that I think is neat is one of the things that probably leads to Red Hybrid not performing as well as we'd like it to, or as was the perception that it would rather, is that there have been an uptick in decks that just can compete with it on the board. The Leviamon interaction is obviously really belligerent, where if they check a Tamer in security, they have to make Leviamon X. That's very balanced. But like the other component to it that's kind of tipped around is that in making SetCon better against a lot of these other like aggro decks, the adaptations for things like Magna Angemon or Azulongmon Ace make you better against Red Hybrid. So Red Hybrid is for the first time kind of being collateral to the way other decks do, like Bloom. So we'll have to see where the deck goes from here. It's starting to win again in BT17 in the East. It turns out just Ancient Greymon Turbo will make do. So,
But that
often-
is
yeah.
that is like classic early format red aggro wins, right? It's like
We'll
nothing
get
is
to
so-
BT17 later.
Nice
but
complex
Yeah.
game
yeah.
plan, idiot.
all
Anyways.
3 hybrid decks are current front runners for the like yellow hybrid, blue hybrid, red hybrid are all coming out swinging in BT17. They are doing bits. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Obviously, we're not going to be able to talk about Dallas just yet. The events aren't fully available, but I do want to point out SetCon getting 3rd here again. This is now 6 events in a row where SetCon has at least made top 8. The ties killing the SetCon players is not happening this time. So we'll have to see how it goes. The other one,
Although
we
that
will
is the
point out-
reason that Mirage won, didn't it?
Yeah, so in Alicante finals, it was
Oh,
Davis
yeah.
and Mirage was the only left undefeated player.
So that
Um,
there were the
nice.
3 undefeateds, and then Dave and Secon played against each other, and they tied, which gave Mirage the auto win.
Very, very funny.
And then, yeah, very silly.
Deserved.
The other thing is, like I said, we don't have the full Dallas results, but SetCon just got 2nd. So if you count the results we don't have, that's 7 events in a row. So we'll have to see. But I say, think this is the best SetCon has been in at least a full year.
I think this is the best Secon has been in a little while, but this is the last format like Secon gets to exist. Like I don't think Secon has a place in the game from BT16.
Yeah,
onwards.
partition does pretty much take it out back.
Partition, Magna X, just like so many like
Yeah,
random
the
ass
Demon Lords
cards.
in EX6 too. It's kind of
Yeah, there's just, you know,
Range control to Unga Bunga to glorified Unga Bunga to mid range. So true.
Mid range isn't real.
Quiet
Whoa.
armor player. But yeah, we'll have to see. There's a couple lists I would like to point out if we're going to go through some of the actual Alicante standings.
Yeah, let's go.
The highest placing Numemon list is kind of a little bit all over the place, and it explores. I think this
the
is
yellow
interesting.
ones.
You can open it as an image to just get an overview.
Yes.
Speeds it up a little bit. I think this is interesting because this is when I saw these placements, I was like, this Nume list was like, what do I play? And then they went everything.
Everything, yeah.
So this is Chimeramon, this is Death X, this is Azulongmon Ace, this is Ruin Mode, this is Digimon Emperor instead of a Mem Setter or anything like there are no Louis. It's just like the tech card.
And I think like this is probably the list that I've liked the most. I think like playing Chikurimon to reduce play cost is okay, but I guess it's good against like opposing Death X's, right?
Yeah, it was interesting as well that they're on like the 3 security Chikuri, but they're not on the Shinmonze, because like I feel like sometimes when you see security Chikuri, you're just like, okay, that card gets infinitely more value if you're on Shinmonze to force it to be in security by hard playing it. But it kind of just like smoke screens as like, no, it's actually just back to like Azulon, Venus, Platinum, and yeah, that is kind of strange to me because I've only seen D-Digivolve Chikuri in the lists that are on like a Shinmonze to put them there.
I think a lot of the times the like straw that breaks the camel's back, this is particularly for the black base because obviously they have the synergy with both of the Chikurimons being crazy for this list, is that they're also on the Dorumon for the security Dorumon promo that we were like super late to get in the West.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize they were playing both Chikuris. I thought that I misread that Chikurimon as
they're on 6.
Yeah, they're on both, just no Shinmonze. So it's an interesting. I mean, we've already said that this deck is kind of just teched wide instead of teched in for one specific game plan. This really is my slugs will go forward. But I think that the tipping point for a lot of the Shinmonze players, and this is true not just in the black base, but black base is definitely like the prevailing winner if you're going to play Shinmonze, is to have the Dorumon and to have the Chikurimons and things like that. So it's a cool adaptation. One thing that's also in this list that I don't think we've individually covered here on the pod, but I know a lot of people who are big Numemon fans are talking about is the double Tuarmon. That's an extra copy than I usually see, but 2 Tuar is really funny because you could just put the second Tuar over the first Tuar if you needed to.
Yeah. The other thing is that like while the black base I think is overall more consistent, the purple base did win Dallas.
Yes. It just has a better rebuild, right?
Yeah.
We have the Dallas list, so we can show it off later. I mean, I guess we could talk about it now because we can't cover the rest of Dallas really. We could.
Oh, the other thing is that this Nume list isn't playing the RBO1 Nume.
No search.
Like, so it's just trying to do everything off of draw power rather than like specific searches, which means that they also have like a lot less blockers in their deck, which can be good or bad.
I think this is interesting. Yeah, Fire Rocket to take the game. I think it's interesting because this really does kind of like, there's been a lot of consensus on Numemon as an archetype, which is like it's a package of cards and then you play an engine around it. And this is the most stripped down I've seen that package. This, like I said, this is not even on Louis. The no RB1 Numes. This is the fewest, like, I don't even think there's no Agumon from ST15 or anything. Like, there's just a lot of the pieces that you typically see in like black base Numemon. We're just like, even that might be excessive. If you've just got enough level 4s and level 5s, you've got the deck. So.
Funny enough, bring up the D Brigade list because I know like Jamie plays like D Brigade adjacent. This is playing D Brigade adjacent this format.
Yeah.
So I want to see the.
The 10th place one was neat.
I want to hear Jamie's input on D Brigade.
Okay, I haven't actually looked at this.
I see a Shu Yulin. Yeah, so we're on.
There's a Craniumon.
What is this?
What?
Okay, yeah. So it's not running Oriumon. This is straight D Brigade with Craniumon. The Hisariumon's nice because. Well, it's only one anyway, but it obviously lets you get that free Evo just for having a tamer. as D Brigade goes, this is pretty standard. I don't see anything wrong with this at all.
Yeah, I feel like we saw Johnny running basically this for
Yeah, that's what I was
the
thinking.
Ultimate Cup, bar obviously not being forced to run blocker Commandramon. This is like, as Diamond doesn't, like the Cranion tech is cute, because it...
5 Tamers, I think, is like a little
Problem
bit
is-
lower than usual.
Yeah, they are slightly smaller on that end. The other card didn't
But-
get this.
They're on
They
Pride.
made room for they're on IFO.
Yeah.
Most
I
likely
think that
for
might
like
be
Deva.
for the Deva matchup. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
you
yeah.
need something.
The Missimon is nice, as with D Brigade, obviously you don't want to deck yourself out. Yeah, there's.
I think
the
Alliance
shoe
is
can get
cute
played
as
off
well.
cargo.
I
The
think,
shoe can get played off cargo.
yeah, the shoe off cargo, but also like just giving Alliance so you don't have to go like hella wide on your checks. You can just like, I've floated into something. Like what? It's like you swing something, your on deletion Commandramon floats into something new that doesn't have rush, so you just Alliance it on the check. Is kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Crania is like, I was like, okay, what is the Crania for this format? And I guess like giving your stuff being able to not be deleted means that like into Levia they just like anything with blocker tag, Craniumon just keeps it alive.
Yeah, so that would be that would end up being your second stack, probably because you'd want Brigade as your main one to give everything blocker, and then Crania comes down on something else as.
Yeah,
Even like on a level 5 that you play out for free from Brigade, you just put the Crania on top of that. I don't think it's the worst.
yeah, and then you
It's-
basically
wanna-
lock down the board.
It's also probably not bad into like Deva because it means that like the actual sovereigns can't do their like on deletion to pop your stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can still get bot decked, but
Yeah,
deletion prevention is nice. It also prevents against the Leviathan matchup in that
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
I want to make a particular shout out to one card in here where it goes with the Cranion. I tested the heck out of this with Johnny Lowe back in BT14 when I was considering this deck for Nats. And the EX5 Tankdramon is this random little tech piece that D Brigade still
Right,
has access to.
EX3.
Sorry, EX3, my bad. EX3 Tankdramon is this little tech piece that goes with Craniumon. Because this inherit to continuously supply the board with Commandramons is not tagged to being a D Brigade Digimon. So if you put Commandramon over this card, the Commandramon sits there, is a blocker, is unaffected, and produces 1 to 2 Commandramons every time you swing.
Ew.
Yeah, it's very funny. So long as you are able to adequately recycle your Missimons over the course of your like 5 or 6 turns that you're needing to use to get your like chip aggro in, Johnny beat me like this. It's ridiculous.
What
The
are
whole
the
concept
matchups for
is
this guy?
atrocious.
I want to see their matchups.
All right.
You
Matches.
click matches there, yeah.
All right. So
Everything but
A lot like
They only
we-
lost to Mirage.
their round 1 was the winner, bro. I hate when that
That's
happens. Yeah, imagine
insane.
queuing into a guy and then you check in 7 hours later and you see them sitting on the finals table for like trying to play for first place. Imagine, yeah.
That
Hi,
could have been me.
Well, okay, so they beat Rave, which is easy. They then got their run back on Mirage. They beat Fenrir Red Hybrid, Slugs, and they lost to Machine, which
Well, they
is
drew
They
it.
drew
They tied
Machine.
Sorry, they
drew
drew
it.
Machine.
But
Yeah.
Machine D Brigade is a dumb matchup where it's just
Yeah.
like if you check analog, man, sometimes you're lethal.
Unstoppable Wall versus Immovable Object.
Yeah, exactly. But I am a big fan of the Tankdramon. I don't think it's a fit in all pieces kind of deck card.
No, it's a D Brigade build.
Yeah.
But it
100%.
is a card that you might want to be aware of going into BT16 because when kind of more aggressive D Brigade kind of pops its head back up, it's going to be something to be aware of.
I looked very briefly at like the first place Mirage list, and it's just like, yep, they're not even playing Searcher Galmon. They're just playing like 4 jamming Betamon, 2
Oh
Goma.
yeah, this is the blue good stuff rookies and archetype.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
4 Zudo. So they're literally like, from my understanding, the game plan is against Slugs. Check their matchups to see if they played against Slugs.
We have D Brigade, Belfer. They played into 2 black base new maze. Oh, 3 new,
Okay.
yeah,
3
3 new
black base
maze.
new maze.
3 new maze.
So my guess is basically you drop Zudo at any point in the game to just clear stuff. Also, the eggs are wild, by the way. 2-1-1.
Yeah, the eggs are crazy.
The eggs are crazy.
I'm convinced the Mirage players all made like a pact. It's actually just like smoke signals as they're like figuring out things. Just like random ass eggs.
Yeah, but like it plays two of the Tamer, the BT13 Mirage, which I think that card is really, really good into exactly like Red Hybrid because of like evade and like getting rid of Takuyas is like in a way that actually matters.
Yeah.
A little bit lower on the boost, but this is a very not like high rolly, but it is very like my first stack will get me there no matter what. And then worst case scenario into slugs, you drop Zudo and then you put a Mirage on top of the Zudo and you're kind of chilling.
I think it's interesting. You talked about the boosts and trainings as cards in this archetype. There's the good folks at Digital Gate Studios the other week did a post about like the Mirage that won LATAM, and it was on this 3-3 split of boosts and trainings, which just conceptually means that you have a high enough chance that you'll open one of them.
Yes.
And the idea is that, like, I suppose evidently in the matchups that this player was expecting to play against, it was more important to find Thomas, which to me makes me think that they were less worried about Numemon and more worried about Levia, which is interesting because Levia, good deck on paper, and everything seems like it's going for it. But there's one Levia at 5th and then another one outside of top 16. So Leviamon is also struggling the same way Red Hybrid is.
The main thing that I found out, well, when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, why the fuck is Mirage winning when like Leviamon and Numemon are running around? It's just because Burst Mode being a level 7 means that nothing in Levia security will stop you.
Does 7 Lightning not hit?
4 and 6.
Oh, it's 4 and 6, and then Levia X is 3, 5, 7?
Yes, but you're not playing anything by effect when you go into burst mode.
Fair.
So, like, you just get to swing with Mirage burst mode, and nothing in their security stops you.
I guess it's also cute that you have evade on the Mirage. Like, if you're on an overflow stack, it's just like the Levia is gonna come out. It's gonna waste one thing. It's cool.
But genuinely, I think the main reason why Mirage is so good this format, it's because it's a deck that is swinging at level 7.
Yeah, makes a big deal.
It's also probably okay into like Deva, maybe.
Yeah, on paper, there's a lot of things that make it like the blue toolbox of option cards can help you with Deva. Like Ice Wall is just really irritating for Devas to interact with. And
it's also that like all of your level 5s draw.
Yeah. So you can outpace the Devas. The thing about Zudomon especially is just playing, just like beating Numemon with Zudomon would work.
Yeah,
just slamming them to remove a level 5 that comes out of the raising area is so efficient.
That's what I was going to say, is like, because you're bouncing the bits instead of deleting them, so Fanglong isn't being reduced at all at that point.
One of the game plans I've kind of mapped out when helping test for Devas, I've been doing some folks Deva games, is to literally just not do anything as a Mirage player until you have the prerequisite 6 damage on board. So you just go, okay, Zudomon, okay, Zudomon, okay, Zudomon, or like that entire time you're promoting a Gomamon out of raising, and then that Gomamon has, you're unblockable for the turn and stuff like that. So you can kind of just take your time to just kind of out resource value the Deva player, which is interesting because the Deva player is trying to play a resource value game. Blue bounds good.
The Red Hybrid list that did well, if you bring that up, they did the criminal thing that I always hate, which is to play like not 12 level 4s. The people keep cutting the one Burning Greymon, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But they were playing one Groot Ace, so as a card that sounds out, it's kind of neat.
And out to Fenrir.
I mean, I won't lie, I was considering Groot Ace for Jesmon.
Garuda Ace is a really funny card. We can talk about it for a little bit if we want. It's a bit like Fire Rocket in the Armors, making some of those matchups a little bit more squirrely. It's just like, if you've got enough level 4s out, the Fenrir player can't get rid of them all in the first swing, and then the Garudamon kills them if AG's in the sources.
Yeah.
So it's the same with Fire Rocket for the Armor player.
For what's worse, as a Red Hybrid list like this looks fine. Like, I would personally maybe play 3 Crimson Blaze because like it is the card that you need to see. You don't need Atomic that much as like modern Red Hybrid because like you get that extra point of damage from Uko, so it's not like it really matters. I would rather have stronger security or just have a stronger like security just a stronger option to play, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just give yourself that actual combat tool like on the defensive. Because as good as the Garudamon Ace is, it is not in of itself actually answering the slug beatdown. So
3 Graph Crushes, like this is like the second. Well, this is another list that did well with 3 Graph Crush, which Graph Crush continues to be a card
It's
of all
still in
time.
the game, huh? That's funny.
That's funny, guys.
Maybe that card will feature prominently in the next unlimited event that OPE runs next year if the stars align. Listen, I know red hybrid's on the block at some point. I'm not stupid. I do love this deck, but if they hit Aldemon before they hit Grab Crush, somebody is getting a little lost in the sauce.
Bring up the Luga list. This Luga list, like, I genuinely don't know the best placing Luga list. I don't know how they did it because this list looks like made with all the love and care and spaghetti in the world, and he somehow managed to get there. This is like, I'm sorry. Okay. Props to you. You did very well, but this is just an objectively bad Luga list. 7 rookies and not even like all Lugas. They were on the one Gato, which I like.
I'm such a big fan of, like, if I can't find my pieces, I need to at least have one Memset or Matt. Like, I know there's so many Lugomon lists that are just
three analog youth.
This is a BT14 Lugomon deck, but they were like, I don't want to play any of the new stuff except the red cards. It's so crazy.
Oh, this is, I mean, like 180
Pro Bank Juju for a rookie all day.
One protoform is just like,
it's very
insane.
funny.
It's a hope and a prayer. That's all it is, honestly. He's got the Shine Ruin and the Death X ready to go on deck, just in case he needs them.
But you know what it is? If you look at these matches, it really did only lose to Yellow Vaccine and SetCon. Sorry, not Yellow Vaccine, Yellow Hybrid and SetCon.
Was that his losing matchups?
Well, he drew with Yellow Vaccine. Yellow Vaccine. My brain is just filling that gap in. It drew with Yellow Hybrid, lost to SetCon. But
can we look up the? Is there a yellow? What is it?
Yellow Vaccine lists. So Yellow Vaccine is technically kind of MIA. There's a lot of Yellow Shine that came back this event, but you have to scroll pretty far down for Yellow Vaccine.
Oh, yeah,
it's right at the corner of top 32.
Yeah, 31st place, Andre Dimitri.
There was a Shine list. Was it?
Yeah, Shine did really well this event.
Oh, it was top 6. It was number 16, right?
What, for Shine?
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a Shine at 7th.
Oh, there is. Okay. I think. I don't know. Shine is just a weird one because, like, on paper, the deck is just kind of crazy. You get to play all the good cards in this format.
You get to have all of the fun of yellow DP minus, but you don't have to play non-tribal bad yellow cards.
Yeah. So this is the. Oh, this is the Yellow Vaccine list?
Yeah, it's the Yellow Vaccine
list.
Yeah,
this is the 31st place one.
Oh, okay.
And it is Go In Bulkmon, which we shouted out at Latam last week. It might kind of have legs, fellas. There's no revelations or nothing fancy here, but this is... You know what this made me laugh about? This is very, very, very close to East's deck profile for Yellow Vaccine. Like, there's a couple pieces here and there, but, like, this is, like, Yellow Aggressive Toolbox. So,
I mean, the solution is to kill, honestly.
If they have no security, it doesn't matter if you draw like crap.
Yeah. So, like, me and Terry have been working on, like, a fucking Kentaros deck for the past, like, week and a half. And it feels like we're really close, but it's also, like, we're specifically building around, like, Kentaros, which... You know, you have to play the 6 security minigame where you could just play Yellow Vaccine and
Mitama them instead.
Yeah, just do whatever you want. It's Yellow Vaccine. Like, Patamon is kind of crazy still. Every time Patamon goes off, you probably win the game. But if Patamon whiffs, you probably lose the game. And it just feels really bad to EVE over Patamon, but sometimes you just have to.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? I don't know. There are components to this archetype where it's like, how bad could it really be if Patamon is that kind of it's a house, right? It just carries the entire color. So we'll have to see where it goes from here. I think Yellow Vaccine has legs. Like I don't want to make an assumption too early for the Salford Regional metagame, but I do think that there's a lot of UK players that have been really up on Yellow Vaccine.
I mean, Digidread won.
Yeah, he won Digicord last week.
Yeah.
But that was the Revelation Kari stuff. So, it's very interesting. Highest placing Melga. Ooh, you're not gonna. Melga did not. Melga did not. Melga has lost the race. Melga is not the blue deck of the form.
There's only one Metal Garurumon.
Let me find you the
100.
I think it's just because like people
I was gonna say I'm still strolling.
102nd.
Yeah, in a format where Levia is crawling everywhere, you are simply just hoping that none of the 5 cards that were the second set of 5 in their deck were Biting Crush or... Well, I guess, yeah, well, you're swinging on a 5, so maybe you're fine, but like, yeah, Biting Crush.
It's not there. Like Marcia is pointing out about the level 7 burst mode thing when he told me that the other day, really pointed it out to me. But also it's like Levia doesn't want you to non-deletion removal its 4. It really doesn't want you to do that. So if you can do that on Mirage, you have a huge advantage.
I just think that Melga players don't understand how good Secret Melga is.
Well, should we pull up the list?
Yeah.
I mean, we could do, but it's like I can talk about Garuru all day, but I just, unless it's like me or somebody else, I don't think people are going to play Garurumon for an event. Like I know like a couple people that would, like, but the average player, they'll look at Melga and be like, oh, the deck is hit, it's not good now, and they just won't bring it to an event. But double evade is objectively good in a deletion meta.
It is on a card that I hadn't seen in a topping Melga list before. I did a little bit of reading about this before. I couldn't exactly remember what it is, but it's on EX467 Full Metal Blaze, which is the like Zed Garurumon version of what's
that
it called?
not
Midas
bad.
Breath.
Yeah, it's return to level 4 lower to hand, good for the Numemons. Then if your opponent has 8 or more cards in hand, return a level 6 or higher to bot deck. So that is a great out to Leviamon if they're on it. I still think that like you're kind of just gonna you have to work so much harder on Melga than you do on Mirage that the blue players have to answer that question for themselves.
I think it's the opposite, where like Melga gets their stuff a bit easier. Like the deck is objectively faster, but like it has its utility is I'm going to draw an interaction to find my pieces, and you need to win with like that stack where it was like Mirage can just flex into playing like pseudo like control.
Yeah, but I wouldn't choose to swing at a 5 in a format where Davis is anticipated to be good. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
there are some lines that Melga has to represent in the format that don't make it safe anymore. But like, you know, it is still the best blue OTK deck, right?
Melga can like
50% one-ofs at this point.
Melga can just give up at swinging at 5, and I think that's what most people are not used to, is like people are still playing the old style of Melga where like they swing at 5, but realistically you should be swinging at 6 and maybe abusing like the EX 5 wear X to give you that extra unsuspend plus a secret Melga. So for all intents and purposes, you still get 3 checks minimum plus Melga X for 4 checks, and then like, you know, Blitz Omni X, whatever. Like you still have OTK lines. It's just you have new OTK lines which people just have not explored.
I do want to shout out the one of EX5 where Metal Garurumon X as an answer to Numemon. We kind of joked about Ice Wall on a stick back when this card was revealed, but it turns out Ice Wall on a stick might turn out to be pretty good right now.
Yes, I that's the next thing I need to test is the EX5 Melga X.
Especially if you're like warping from the secret Garurumon. That's not like, you know, 2 of it.
It's pretty good. Like training into it, right? Like you're training into the secret rare and then like Floodgate and then also apply Ice Wall.
Yeah, you
it's
just
like
gotta hope
really
you don't
sticky.
hit first check security like a certain someone.
Womp womp.
Really be like that.
On paper, I think Melga is really good. I just don't think people know how to build the deck anymore.
Oh yeah, you know what? Now that, you know, yeah, I mean, Usman just say you just got his gold one. That's a thing. I don't think that it's been announced yet, but the Minikill giveaway, yeah boy, came through.
Yeah.
We'll have a funny little 2-star Melga in the Misplay for Game binder soon. Cause
hell yeah!
How do you always win all these giveaways?
Yeah, I'm like 2 for 300, but that's fine. The 2 that won were the 2 that mattered. Yeah, so we won that. We're also going to be doing a cool little collab thing with Mitikage, sending him over some signed cards because we're Hollywood now, the coolest Digimon podcast based in the UK.
Your words,
Based in
not
the
mine.
UK. Andrew, have there been any
Based?
Yeah.
An Arab bottle? What is that? An Arab bottle?
Yeah, I've had one.
Hey, no free clout. Let them pay for the ad.
Not sponsored, not sponsored, not
But
sponsored.
if they want to, just hit me up. But I love money.
It was a non-generically named aerated water bottle, and until they give me money, I ain't putting their brand on the camera.
Andrew, have there been any armor lists that did okay this weekend?
We can talk about the funniest armor list we've ever seen. Because what was that? 66th place.
Yeah.
Digimon Armor, 66th place.
Yeah.
This might be the pile of 50 cards of all time.
That is a 50. Yep.
You want to see the like Wikipedia definition of anti-synergy? Because that is what we have here.
Oxford Dictionary.
Yeah, so we have 4 Magna, 3 Gold Digimon, who notably is a vaccine 2-color. And the searches of choice here are 4 of the one that searches free and a Davis, and 1 of the one that searches free. So this Gold Digimon is unsearchable. Because they're not on the 2-color searcher at all. Magnamon X Antibody, also unsearchable. Zudo, unsearchable.
Lord knows they got away with it.
They're on Blinding Ray, a whole format early. But they got a 66th. They did win.
They were 1 bad resistance draw off of getting into top 64 with this list. So that's a finalist.
No, top 30. No, if they. Oh yeah, 64.
Yeah. Somehow.
I just can't help but feel like perhaps if that 3 of was Lydramon, that would have been a top 64 Vmon armor list, and then we would have been talking. But
yeah, maybe even Flamedramon. Literally.
Yeah, any of the free type ones.
Yeah, that it was a decision for sure.
I'm not an expert on armor. I don't want to pretend I know more than Oscar Sanchez, who piloted this deck. But maybe there is some value to the inherent shrink on Gold Digimon, but y'all are armor players. You guys know better than
I
me.
love Gold Digimon. Literally, the card is held back by being a vaccine. I think being able to shrink an 8k down to 6 and then stun it is way more useful in a lot of matchups. Like, I love suspending level 4s, but like Gold Digimon does nearly everything Lydramon does better, except being searched.
It's supposed to be Ulforce support, right?
Kinda.
Yes. It is supposed to be, but
so the main takeaway that so even though this list didn't do the best, I think there's still merits to this list, which are concepts that in our armor space group we've been fearing the direction of the deck, and this list has some of those adaptations. Like for example, the armor texture, the gold V, the inclusion of 2-cost armors, the Zudo Ace. Slightly lower count of Magna X because it's not the focus of your deck. There's a lot of good things about this list, like jamming Vmon, but this list is also missing a lot of the things that let armor keep up with the rest of the metagame, like no Louis, no Uko.
No Protoform.
Protoform, it's a weird one.
It's a nice one for if you don't need the DP minus protection, then Protoform functions as another Awakening of the Golden Knight.
Yeah.
But since they're cheaper. Not on, well, technically the same cost, because it would be 4-cost warp reduced by 1 becomes 3, right, so it's the same. The reason that I don't think they're on it is because they're not on the full house of Magnamons, and Awakening at least lets you ignore the not being named Magna to get into Magna X, whereas Protoform would only be useful if you're on fully Magnas, because all of your Magnas will then just be able to naturally evolve.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
But I think there was a do we have the Dallas list for armor in our?
I can go grab it.
Yeah, it's handy.
That list I think is a better example of the way that armors are moving forward, because not the metagame instigator, Hwang Zero telling people, yo, armor is good, and then people go, you know what, Hwang, armors are good, and then more people start playing armor and the deck actually starts doing well.
You would love to be a meta manipulator. Don't even pretend.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah, that is all you get up for in the morning.
Yeah. I wish I had that superpower, right? But the fact that Hwang can go, guys, I think armor is good, and people go, is he real or is he trolling? Try it, succeed with it, and then all of a sudden armors are doing well in tournaments. But obviously it's not just Hwang. It's just obviously the deck did get a direct piece of support. But this list, for example, I think
support.
this list plays a little bit more to the strengths of modern armor. This is a more Magnamon centric, so it doesn't play towards the 2-cost Armor Rush style. It's still a little bit into the Magnamon deck, but it does play more of the Davises. It plays the Death X, which is really important because this deck draws a bajillion cards.
3 is criminal.
Marcio has SR, Magna SR bought out. He's a market manipulator.
Of course.
This is the Wergarurumon OTK all over again.
Yeah. But the thing with armor is that like you draw a bajillion cards, and sometimes you're just drawing into cards that don't do anything. So you want to draw into like cards that actually do something. So Pseudo Ace plus like Death X are like the cards that you want to draw into to like bring the pace of the game down a little bit to the point where like armor can like actually like control if it needs to, or bypass weird walls or whatever.
Yeah, they're on 4 of the Magnet X, so it definitely looks like the game plan is make the wall and then sit there until you find your lethal line, and just have Death X so they can't continuously scramble. One other thing that Vmon armor is uniquely positioned to do is Ukomon is free type because he is linked with the O2 cast. Therefore, you have, 6 cards now that search Ukomon, which most other Ukomon abusers can't do, which is pretty cool.
At least your rookies will find you other rookies.
Yeah, like you can be in a situation.
Such a huge advantage for an aggro deck in this format. Like Numemon prevents that because it just has access to rush level 4s half the time. But like, the reason Red Hybrid was the evergreen aggro deck was that its rookies found each other, or like it just had above average card draw and safe access to your 4s. So this is essentially above average card draw, rookies that find rookies, and safe access to your 4s.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What a recipe.
They're not on the double agent at all. That only finds 2 colors.
I love that guy. That's my goat.
That same, but he is a double agent for sure.
I will take him. At least he can find a gold V, and that's good enough for me.
I'm going to admit something here live on the podcast. I don't remember which Vmon is which at any moment because every Vmon has so many alt arts that I swear to God, I find a new alt Vmon of a new Vmon that I didn't know had an alt every week.
That's why BT8 even
which
better.
One is which?
BT8 has never had an alt. He's just sitting. He's like the Squidward in like his house, just watching as like every other Vmon gets like printed alts, and he's just like, "Oh, I got a full border."
Yeah, for real. Very good. Congrats to Armour players. I hope y'all figure out the strat. That's where you're kind of vibing right now for Manchester, right, Marcio?
Not to give out information on the deck that I'm playing, but that is currently on my pool of decks that I'm thinking about playing.
If I am not casting, you best believe I'm running it into security with fire rockets.
I was talking about this later, but like Andrew, this guy, he will just play armor no matter how good or bad it is, and he'll find like weird cards to put in his deck. I remember like Kuzuha armor, and I was like, dude, what are you doing here? And he's like, yeah, you get to do this, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess. It wasn't up until like BT14, Fire Rocket killing Fenrir. I was like, okay, I'm sold. Okay. We play Fire Rocket again. You got me.
Dude,
yeah, very silly. Jamie, do you and me want to make it the Connect 4? We'll also make a little blood oath to play armor. That'll be the weirdest thing you've ever seen.
Why not? I'm down for it.
You and me having a blue streak on our tournament history, very funny.
No, you guys should play Jessmon. You guys should play Jessmon again.
I play Elfos.
No, yeah, true.
Play a good unsuspend deck.
He did. Hey, Jamie did beat me at LT Cup with Ulforce, so
maybe
I will never live that one down.
Maybe it's Jessmon, if you're going to lose, why lose to your own technical play when you could just lose to your deck not working? And if you win, you should just win off of your when digivolving, so you don't have to think about the rest of the game.
Dude, I love that you say that and Trix shows up.
Yeah, you summoned him. Your deck not working? Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, thanks for holding on to those for me for when they're good again.
Yeah, I mean, they're mine for now, but
Ooh, what the hell?
Are those worth anything? I've had those for years.
Not worth that much anymore.
Okay, cool.
Very nice.
But I play Vmon. This is the only Vmon I know. Camera, where directions.
That's the kid.
BT11 Vmon, yeah, the one that everybody runs, right? BT11 Vmon.
You joke about it, but like I was saying, like we're just one good like Digimon away from actually being able to like run that Vmon in armors, because
I mean we're getting the Digimon that lets you do the exact same thing as this one. Yeah,
but like I don't know, there are some times that we're starting to run like I did like a thesis on every tamer that we can run in armor right now, like the Shu Yulin. I've seen Joe as an option because Joe effectively is a 2-cost tamer, helps with your strips, so your Magnas are always getting the bounce, your Zudos are getting the bounce. It's like once we start teching into blue tamers not named Davis, it might get to the point where we just need enough Vidramon-ish cards that still play nice with armor that could be one of our searches now, because it hits into generic blue tamer. what's its inherit? Game back +1 if we
Give
play
you
it.
Gain in memory when you play it.
Yeah, so like we could
Maybe-
get value off of that.
Maybe hear me out. It's actually 1.5x Vmon for when Digivolving and suspend one of your guys, and you swing jamming Vmon, right? And then like you play Davis evolving to this guy, so you pay more memory than just regular.
Yeah, more
revolving.
memory than normal.
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
got
yeah.
a tamer.
But you got a tamer out of it.
Leviamon comes down. He's like, I see you now. Thanks for going into a 4 without armor purge.
We'll get a Davis version of the arena that is absolutely broken and let you unsuspend and use one Digivolvings and gain DP
Funnily
and
enough,
shrink everybody.
That Vmon is like technically not the worst in Mirage because you can like if you play the BT13 Mirage, you can like play out the Thomas for free by bouncing an opponent's tamer. So it is a little bit cheaper. Still not great.
Not great.
We'll see. I don't know.
Anyway.
All Force is this deck. When they reprint Secret Arena, I'll give it another go. But it's not for me, and it's not there yet.
That's my blue.
Why is it-
I need to change out my Bukas still. That deck is still illegal.
I got a blue sweater on today. I came ready to try and meet the blue players halfway.
Why is it always like this podcast we spend like half an hour just like coping on a random deck?
All Force is neat.
With the
I
voice
like
of the people.
Yeah, I like
we-
deck
if we-
that like fights on board. I think it's fun.
Oh, the Vmon that gets a memory. Usman brought up that you evolve into the Galmon that plays the Thomas if you don't have a Thomas.
Very fun.
Oh, true.
Maybe
Yeah,
we're
you
just-
should
Okay,
go
this-
+1 on that even.
Bro, that's Kumamon
Yeah.
with extras. That's
You
crazy.
know what it doesn't do in
Yeah.
Mirage though? It doesn't give Mirage jamming, so they ain't interested.
I mean, yes, of course.
Um,
But in
wait.
EX,
Oh, yeah.
what's that? EX6, we're getting the weird like egg that like lets you put a
the
level 3.
Yokomon.
Yeah, the Yokomon. So you can give your Mirage jamming anytime you want to.
It
That
does
would be very
matter.
funny.
Oh,
If we
boy,
were to
oh,
talk
boy.
about decks that are just cope, bro, I'm just gonna run Jesmon Originals and hope and pray that I don't hit any new Mimon.
That's my game plan as well. It will not work.
I think my plan is go back to having 2 blocker system on. I think I'm gonna scrap the idea of having decoy system on at this point. And unfortunately betray the Jesmon pact that I made with Trix of having to run Cranium on.
I was gonna say, surely like
I
decoy
can-
is more relevant than it has been because Levia
Yeah.
is
Levia.
here. You do all
I-
your shit and it tries to pop it and you just go decoy.
I cannot
So-
wait for someone to just play Biting Crush for 8 and stare you down for the rest of the best of 3. What,
I mean,
what do you do?
yeah, that's fine. I can recover from that one
He's
because they've
playing
given me
the
like
max.
6
No.
memory.
How do you recover from Biting
Because they've
Crush?
given me
delay?
6 memory, bro.
Bro,
And what are you going to do with that 6 memory?
Right, push out the stack that I've raised in the back
Mhm.
and go into a second GX.
Without
Just like
playing
raw
any
dog
sisters.
it.
But fun fact,
Without
fun
playing
fact,
any sisters.
no, he's
no. Fun fact. I have information from the regional judge Jambo
Oh, yeah.
Jambroski in the Fanboy 3 Discord
Jambino.
server from a direct message that I've had with him on Sunday last week. Leviamon cannot trigger any of their stuff until I have finished my entire combo.
Yeah.
so you just
I'll just
have
play
to-
out my double decoy sister. All right, I'm not going back to 2 blockers. Screw that. Double decoy sister.
In one
talked himself up.
exchange, in one exchange, we convinced James
We fixed it.
you only play decoy sisters.
Only decoy sisters. No blocker.
And then you
one
lose to
blocker,
Mirage.
One blocker.
Because
And then
you
lose to
draw one
Mirage?
trash to- Yeah,
No,
you
no,
draw one trash
Ganku.
to-
Ganku.
if you get there.
Ganku.
Oh man. Well, fellas,
Thank you.
who among us doesn't lose to a Mirage? Maybe a deceitful, an after image, something that isn't quite as it looks like it should be in real life. Maybe a lie. And I know a lot about lying about the Digimon TCG. This is my best segue I've ever done, by the way. I'm knocking it out of the park. We're playing Mem Gauge of the Room. It's my week.
Speaking about knocking it out of the park, you made a Twitter for Manchester Digimon.
I did. I have been working on graphics. I have a job as well, so it's been a little bit of a challenge this
Can't
week.
relate.
But if you guys want to follow MCRDTCG on Twitter, let me go ahead and share that. It's literally all capital letters. You
I
can't
got
miss it. Nice. You got me. MCRDTCG on X or Twitter or whatever the heck. Follow it because we made it. It's being run by the admin team of the like unofficial fanboy server / Northwest Digimon.
We should probably start posting the podcast on there, huh?
We hadn't discussed if we were willing to. I probably
right
should. We kind of are the voice of Northern Digimon.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll maybe guess that up. I'll get on that this week. But yeah, I've been working on some graphics. But this is an appeal to you, the viewing audience. If you consider your local scene to take place in, I suppose, the north of England or the north of the UK, we're like, we've not made an explicit interest in including Scottish local scenes. I don't think they would want to be roped in with England. That's not really the jam. But yes, as an American, this is my understanding of British politics. No, I'm serious though. If you guys are, you find yourself in a local scene up north, we would love to have your information. If you find me, I'm the one of the accounts that this account follows. You can find me at the TommyNT. DM me your results. I want top 4 lists and I want pictures. That would be awesome.
Also, I mean, according to this, at least our DMs are open. So
they are open.
You could also just send them straight to the Twitter.
Yeah, so I'm calling out, Jesters and Slice and Dice and Harley Quinn. Harley Quinns. We just need your give us the player sheet, all the list of all the players, and then top 4, and then picture of the decks, and then we can
picture of the decks.
Boom.
But also, y'all should get into the habit of saving your decks online. There are so many people that like, oh yeah, I build all this stuff, or I play in Drazzle and I have all my decks in Drazzle. Please put them on digimoncard.dev, .io, .app, whatever your online one of choice is. Please put them there, preferably IO. Because they don't do alt arts, and it's very helpful as much as we all get to put our swag and show how much money we've inted playing this game. Sometimes a min rarity list that can be easily accessible is what Eggman does for all of his link to IO as well. It will make our lives much easier if you take a picture that's like done with the backside of a potato under like the hottest bright light directly above your cards possible. It would help to have a digital version of the list that we can read.
We really want to be like a kind of chronicle archive on this. So if we can kind of get folks to pile in, if you've ever been on Digimon Card Meta, sometimes there are locals that post their results on there with 9 dudes. So it's like, if you could hook us up, we want to try and curate a scene, because we know UK Digimon is kind of bumping right now. It's just one of those things where if you aren't already participating in getting that information out there, or you haven't had an avenue for it yet, we would like to do that. So that would be a big thing.
Mid-rarity list.
So mid, bro.
If you send me the picture and the list, I will make Card App show the right alts for you as well. I'll promise, brother. But yeah, that's MCRDTCG. Please go ahead and follow that on there. I appreciate that a bunch. And then graphics and stuff are coming soon. I want to say thank you to people who have already sent out lists. But a special thank you. I want to shout out the folks who have been sending stuff. Tommy Tricks hooking me up with information from Geek Retreat events in Barrie. Just Justice J for our Bolton coverage, and my good guy KBeeDS for our Manchester lists. So that's what's up. Appreciate y'all. Anyway, Memgage of the Room. You guys haven't seen that?
I want to lie on camera.
There's a couple. I don't want to spoil it because it's fun, but I have like an April Fool's segment for this show in a minute as well. So we'll maybe make Memgage this week like 3 questions if you guys are cool with that.
Sure. I love lying.
So, hello, Editing Andrew, for when you make this into a YouTube video, and the viewing audience here live on the internet. This is Memory. And the parentheses are there, by the way, if you tweet it out or anything. Memory. Gauge the room. These fine 3 gentlemen are going to be competing in a game of fooling you, the live audience. If you want to play live, you go over to twitch.tv/KnTElixar, where you can get your hard-earned channel points, and we will swindle you out of them.
Yeah, you want to resolve make me dab a couple more times? Well, you can steal that money from other people.
Exactly. In Memgage the Room, one of these 3 fellows will be read a statement, or they will all be read the same statement, excuse me. A statement like, there are too many Greymons in the Digimon TCG. And 2 of them will give their honest opinion on the statement, and 1 of them will be deceitfully lying. It is up to you, the live audience, to try and work out who's doing what. So, you all ready to play Memory Gauge the Room?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh,
I'm going to
yeah.
go over and send you guys your instructions.
This is also the second
as
week.
Always.
Well, technically 3rd week, but each of them got their crowning unveiling as just like, hey, this is a thing we do now as part of the live thing. But this will also be the YouTube video. So hello, YouTube audience as well. if you're seeing this, you missed it.
Oh, the hell.
But let us know what your record was in the comments, because play along at home. Maybe next time show up to it live. Next week we might also be on a Monday. But yeah, I mean, keep an eye on YouTube posts to always know when we're live. But hopefully we'll actually have a concrete day locked in soon enough from after next week. But
so
we can just about manage to do this on a weekly basis. You can't expect us to do this always on the same day.
Yeah, consistency, we're not there yet. We're working on it. But if you sign up as channel members, we can make it happen. Here's what's up. So these three folks have been given their instructions. Please check our individual DMs, not the podcast chat boys. And we're going to go ahead and get started. My timer will be... Oh, we've had some feedback. We're going to up the timer this week to 60 seconds instead of 30 seconds. If they start floundering and they don't know what to say for 60 seconds and they give themselves away, and that's part of the game. As always, I do it through drawing straws. So nice and easy. All random chance, no funny business. But fellas, the statement you are going to be issued to address today on MemGauge the Room is... EX formats, Highlander, 3v3, Monocolor, are exciting concepts that draw players to events. So one more time, it's EX formats, like Highlander, 3v3, Monocolor, and then recently we had the no ban list one, so something like that, are exciting concepts that draw players to events. Let the boys think about what they'd like to say for a second, and then we'll get going. Again, 60 seconds is a long time. They're here live doing this, so it's a challenge. Does anyone want to go? Does anyone want to go first? We don't have to make Andrew do it. It is funny.
I can. If Andrew wants to go first, that's fine by me. But I don't mind going first.
I'm happy to go first on this one. I'm usually pretty quick at figuring out my yap.
Yeah, what he's yapping.
Yeah, my yap tree is maxed out, bro. I'm always ready.
Memory yapping the room.
You ready to go, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I'll count you in. Are you ready?
Yep. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, so I will say that they are really, really interesting concepts. I think changing the default formula was something that can always be really interesting. I remember when mulligans were a hip new concept for the Digimon card game, and that was something that people would actively go and try and participate in because it does change how the game is played. I will say, though, that probably they would be better received by long-term players if we had more standard offline tournaments. I think there'll be less complaints from longer players who just want to play some regular Digimon, but then also have a side event that has some wacky formats so they can test things out. Right now, we just don't have enough in-person events to justify half of your tournament prizing be on an event where maybe your main deck is completely unplayable in the case of like the single color formats. But all in all, I think they're a great way to get new players into the game where there's maybe some still high stakes, but not everyone's going to be at full power because the format has been changed or warped in some way. And I think there are definitely more interesting ways that they can approach it in future.
That's your time. Well done. 60 seconds, almost on the dot.
Nice with it.
So that's Andrew's opinion on the statement. EX formats, Highlander, EX 3v3, Monocolor are exciting concepts that draw players to events. Marcio and Jamie, who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Cool. Sure. All right, Marcio, I'm going to count you in. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't think they draw that many players to events. I think if they're short and sweet, say for example like a Monocolor event or a 3v3 or a Highlander, you can get away with it. I think my perception of these things has soured a little bit from like the Monocolor Ultima Cups from like when they first did like the alt rule set, because a lot of people could just not play the deck that they wanted to play, and the artificial meta got really stale very quickly. So I don't mind doing them like once in a while, but I think most of the time people just want to play like the deck that they want to play. Now, I will say events where we're exploring something that could potentially influence like the way that we play the game. So for example, mulligans, I think those tend to be a bit more well received. I think were we to do something with sideboards again, try it again to see what people would think, maybe a reduced number, I think maybe we could, start.
That's your time.
I was gonna say we could start thinking about maybe like changing the main rule set again. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'll just let you guys know. I think it's funny that the two of you have walked into mulligans. That was one of the statements from MGage this week, is that rule additions are welcome changes to Digimon. So we'll move that one to a later time. Jamie, my boy, are you ready to go third?
Sure, let's kick it. Let's
All right,
go.
one more time for the YouTube audience. Jamie is responding to the statement: EX formats like Highlander, 3v3, Monocolor are exciting concepts to draw players to events with. Jamie, your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so we've down here in the south, we've actually tried this before, and it's drawn in a lot of other players, like a lot of new players as well, and they've kind of come back with the feedback that it is a little bit interesting for them because they get to try out new deck styles. They aren't locked into one particular thing, and it also gets them to like join the community a lot quicker. And they've said that they really enjoyed it. They loved being able to have the restrictions, especially coming from like Magic the Gathering, where I think Highlander is Commander or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they still two different things? I can't remember. But they really enjoy playing that in the past, and it's just like the whole concept of the thing of locking it down, it's like a challenging run, like in Pokemon with the Nuzlocke sort of thing. They like a lot of our locals have done that, but in terms of other players far afield, it's a chance to try out a lot of different strategies, and I think like
That's your
the
time.
others have... Okay.
Good effort. You guys see the 60 seconds might be working out. You guys kind of got actual points in through this one. I'm hearing
I felt like I was
Somebody brought
rambling
up in
towards the end,
chat.
though.
Somebody brought up in the chat that we could maybe have like a counter, so like people.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah, we will get that going
next
soon, too.
YouTube videos technology. I'll have that ready. Can't promise it'll be ready for the next mem gauge, but it'll be ready for the next YouTube video.
Okay.
But of course, now we come to the part where you guys have to play along as the live viewing audience. Which one of these three folks was telling
Who
you?
is sus?
Which one of these sussy bakas was
I think it's
not being
Andrew.
100 emoji with you? Do you think it's Andrew? Straight
I
out the
think it's
gate.
Andrew. I think it's
he-
you, Marcio, honestly.
You think I enjoy playing alt format? Are you serious?
Yeah,
Bro,
bro.
you play green, you play Bloomlord. What do you
Dude,
mean? You
Bloom
just
got
turn
hit
all
like
your
3
green cards
times in the
sideways.
alt
Jamie,
format.
I play Bloomlord out of necessity. I don't play Bloomer because I enjoy it that much.
But you're
I play 'cause
fine
my-
in like
I play because my color has nothing else.
you're fine in monocolor at that point.
I
though.
hated monocolor. It was fucking boring.
Yeah, I mean, I was leaning Jamie, but that's only because I know Marcio hates monocolor, but he is also always worth dumping channel points into. That boy is
That
full
is
of
true.
shit.
That is true. No, but I think Andrew actually likes alt format because you get to play like weird ass decks. Like imagine you actually are allowed to bring Avenge Kid Turbo to an event.
That's what I mean. It's literally like Andrew's running a Nuzlocke at this point. Man's locked down on a certain color and
Dude,
is like running it down.
I'm always playing
Bloom
Digimon on
chooses
hard
the
mode.
pilot, not the other way. You get handed the booth.
that is the nightmare block rotation.
Queris.
We've just lost whatever Spanish-speaking component of our audience we had.
Yeah,
See
they're
y'all
all
later.
here for
Come back
Alicante,
next
and they're
week.
like, woo! It's like, never mind.
Oh, by the way, in Alicante there were like 10 like Portuguese players, which I think is really funny. But none of them did well, so it's just like sick. We're not even beating the fucking like Spain is just better allegations, you know?
Do you know who was being
Are
like
you
France is
still-
just better allegations? Canada. They cleaned up at Battle of BC. It was mad funny seeing all the French Canadians beat like Gluto and shit in doubles. That was hollering.
Is Jordan Jones Vortex DCG, by the way? He was the highest placing
I
British
think so.
player.
Yeah, I think so.
Kudos to Jordan. Anyway, that was a lot of not pointing the accusation at each other for a game of Memgage the Room.
Where's the
Right,
answer?
I can tell
didn't
you
even see who it
that
was.
people... All right, yeah, we do have the results in.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So running up the rear, nobody thinks that Jamie was lying, except me, apparently. 14% of the vote think that Marcio was lying, and at 86%, they think it's ya boy who was lying. And I can tell you, after checking my Discord DMs again, I did not grief the segment, and I was telling the truth.
I knew you were telling the truth. I just wanted to make it seem like see you later, channel points.
Of course, we do have a liar in every round of Memgage the Room. Do you mind letting us know who you are?
It was me.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
I absolutely despise these formats, and my locals running them really pains me every time we run them. They do not run perfectly. All of the players did not come to me and tell me they were good. They told me they did not know what they were doing.
I think it's funny. You brought up a point that I had heard, like an actual argument somebody had told me, which was that like back in, was it like the December LT Cup, this most recent block, where it was like only the like 3 like most recent expansions.
Yeah.
I knew a bunch of people were stoked to play Digimon again because it was only new cards. And I was like, wow, this is not a group of folks who I expected to exist.
Oh, really quick, I'm not even the best Portuguese player. I got beaten in the like country mirror match like last year. Some guy
by the Dorbic guy?
No. He was playing like War Greymon, but
Right.
I lost in the Portuguese mirror, so I'm washed.
Hell yeah.
Spending too much time in England.
I hear Porto has an absolutely banging local scene. It's all I see on Twitter.
Oh.
But
Maybe
anyway.
I need to stop by.
Yeah, for real. But of course, that's round 1 of Memgage the Room. Congratulations to the nobody who figured out that you guys will get there. This game is actually not that hard. You just have to think everybody's talking bullshit.
Yeah, this one is like, I love like Lethal or Living because sometimes it's like, oh yeah, you know, I went like X2 or, you know, oh, I only got 1 wrong. I went 4-0. Like everyone, I'm like, what's the damage at? It's like, my wife left me and she took the house. We have no more channel points. I cannot discern lie from truth. It's awful.
I live in shadow. Right.
I thought I was really pandering at some point as well. I thought I was going to get caught out real easy.
I think the 60 seconds kind of gives you guys a little bit of a smoke screen.
The other problem is you're also saying, we all kind of said the format and idea is cool, but we need more regular schmegular Digimon before we start doing the goofy shit. And because me and Marcio both said that, and you were like, oh, it's cool. Like, we all said the same thing. It's just that...
If there were more events, right? Like, give me more regular, like, Digimon events where I can just play regular-ass Digimon. And then, if I, you know, completely end my tournament run, I can go play in the side events. Then I'm chilling.
Yeah, no, I agree as, like, side events, they're cool.
Yeah, just don't put them at the start of round fucking 3 and you have to drop from regionals and with 2 other idiots for £100 prizing. Again.
No, I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, same. Every so often I wake up.
I think about, dude, they were like the metal Greymons are worth so much money too. That's fine. But of course, there are many rounds in a game of Memgage the Room. You 3 should have had your instructions sent to RDMs, and the statement that they will be responding to this time are: there are enough beginner-friendly decks and high skill floor decks in every color in the game. So one more time, the statement that they're going to be responding to are, there are enough beginner-friendly and high skill floor decks in each color in the game. I'll give these guys a minute to think. As we get on through Memgage,
this is like the most. This is the most we all had to think about a question in a while.
Bro,
I like to
does so much heavy lifting in that statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I like to think it means you guys have a chance to smoke screen each other. So, one more time for our live audience, where you start throwing around your accusations about who's gonna have what opinions. You guys watch a lot of Andrew's videos. You know when he thinks something is fun and not. There are enough beginner-friendly and high-skill floor lists in every color in the game. So, fellas, I have drawn the straws. All that is left is, of course, to time you guys while you try and come up with something.
All right.
Does anyone want to volunteer to go first?
I'm happy to be the front runner. Tradition at this point.
Alrighty. My boy, I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1. You ready?
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1, go.
Basically, ever since they started making the starter decks playable, there's been enough easy to understand and decently powerful decks with a little bit of investment. Jesmon is a great example of a starter deck that you're not just buying for the Alt-Art Davis that comes free with it, and can actually get you like a top 32, a top 64, if you just make some good choices and you speak to people that aren't afraid to grind the game. I mean, Rapid is another great example where that deck is set up pretty much for success in the next format. Beelzemon's another one where the good players will be making good decisions with good cards, whereas the new players will be making maybe less optimal decisions with good cards and still be able to learn a brand new deck and learn the game and get into the game and still see results. But what will turn them from a new player to a good player will be those reps and that experience that helps you make those decisions, find those through lines that will actually turn you into a successful player.
Alrighty, so Andrew makes a case for starter decks in his answer. Of course, let's just go ahead and have Marcio go second if you're good for that.
I like letting the guests go last because they will just by the numbers have the fewest reps on this bullshit is great.
Yeah, I think it's fun. All right, Marcio, I'm gonna count you down. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I think I want to say colors, right? Because when we're looking at colors, like every color having a beginner-friendly deck and then like a high ceiling deck, I don't think that is the most, like that's not the case all the time, because like I think red hasn't had skill expression in a while. I think most of the red decks are pretty linear, except for like off the top of my head, like Phoenix Mon is like the next deck that will actually have like some expression. Purple tends to be a very like complicated deck. Most basic purple strategies, because you're manipulating an extra resource, they tend to be like a bit of higher ceiling, so they're not as beginner friendly for new players. Even when you think like something like Lugamon, which is like a straightforward OTK deck, it still has its like weird plays. Yellow is a little bit weird because a new player won't instantly like recognize how strong DP minus is. But I would say like I was gonna say I think like green is like a more beginner friendly color, and then black is always a weird one. Because a lot of beginner players will like
gravitate. Bro is actually taking his one more.
Just taking the whole extra thing. We call it at 60 seconds. Bro, that's Marcio's case for red being easy, purple being hard, and the other colors being sprinkled in.
His 60 seconds are longer than my 60 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
Marcio runs on Capcom fighting games 60 seconds.
Yeah.
But that is how it goes sometimes on this most challenging of games of Mem Gauge the Room. Jamie, one more time, the statement you'll be responding to is, there are enough beginner-friendly and high-skill floor lists in every color in the game. You ready to go?
Sure.
All right, count you in.
Let's see what my mouth can spit out.
3, 2, 1, go.
I think I'm actually going to have to agree with Andrew on this one, with the starter decks making it a lot more accessible for the players. Simply because if you're looking at in terms of rule set sort of thing, where Marcio was saying players might not recognize that DP minus is a really strong ability. It like the starter decks allow you to be able to teach those players how to play the game. The blue-green Impildramon one is a great one, teaching you DNA. Mastemon one, the same sort of thing, teaching you DNA, I believe, with the yellow sprinkled in, the yellow-purple from the trash sprinkled in. You've then got the new Terriermon one, that's the name of it. That's obviously teaching you how to do the armors and the DP reduction. Well, the DP reduction, I guess, off of Rapidmon. But, like, potentially warping through the armors into Mega Gargo. You've then got, like Andrew said as well, the Jesmon, the Ragnarlord. But then looking at those high skill...
Yeah, you didn't manage it.
I need to talk faster.
Yeah, that's what happens.
We can give him a sentence finish. We can give him a sentence. Finish your sentence.
I was just going to say, but then the high skill floor ceiling decks, there's many more.
Yeah, so we have 2 advocates for starter decks, somehow meaning that there are both beginner-friendly and high-skill floor decks. Marcio's case on the different colors. But, of course, the game is not just about hearing these guys yapping. It is about making the judgment call here in our live Twitch audience. So, if you've got channel points and you think one of these 3 folks has not been 100% honest with you, go ahead and put their names down. We're going to find out who done it. I think it's funny that you guys like...
Yap or Cap.
Yap or Cap is the realist. I think it's interesting that you guys all were like, it's not so much about if the deck is easy so much as it is accessible to new players. That, like, I think there might have been a blurred line of like...
Well, I think it's not even that. Like, starter decks by design can't be complicated because it will be someone's unique introduction to the game. They're getting their rule book and they used to get their rule book and now they just get their 50 cards and they just go, you'll figure it out. So like
the back of the mat, right?
The other thing is that we have advanced decks and starter decks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. To be fair, you got to think like we're not getting starter decks anymore. We're getting advanced deck sets.
We're literally getting
we're getting
Liberator is literally the next one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, but what I was going to say is like, when was the last time there was like a yellow ass like starter deck to get you into playing yellow? Yellow has been like, I'm getting so heated about yellow lately because like every set it's a different like gimmick. And like the most consistent that color has been for a while is like Shine Greymon, and it's like, wow, guys, we're really reinventing the Tesla wheel here.
Well, I mean that's the problem because yellow's 2 gimmicks are recovery +1 and DP minus, and then if you're Terry, it's memory number go up and down, kill, and they're not going to print any of that for any time soon. I mean, to be fair, Overclock looks like it is going to be like
Overclock
cool.
Funny as hell.
But like most like if they print another TK starter deck and it's just like number go up.
It's yellow vaccine support. It's just another copy of the Patamon effect.
But my thing is like yellow has been like, I don't know how a new player looks at modern yellow and goes, wow, this is really exciting, guys. I really want to like, unless you're like a Patamon lover and your name is like Patamon Lover 420 on, you know, Andrew's like DP minus comment section.
Well, that's just like, right?
How
they had to catch yellow up with EX6, so they were like the only cool mono yellow archetype we really still have left is the Angels. That's the thing people get into, like people who liked Digimon Adventure, like Patamon and Gatomon. So it's like, let's make the Angels finally work.
But what about fucking Blue, though? Blue, the difference between a good Blue player and a bad Blue player is just like, oh, this guy unsuspended 1 extra time than the other guy, so they're probably a little bit better. Blue is like kind of autopilot. I'm just saying.
I had to change my Twitch handle. That's so real. But that's our time on the audience participation type beat.
All right.
So
we have one
Andrew, we got the numbers.
Well, right?
Yes, we have one more before I have a silly segment.
Okay.
Who was the liar?
We have an ad break in 4 minutes. So, everyone thinks it's me. Like it's just straight up. Everyone thinks it's me.
Wow, 2 for 2.
Wow, 2 for 2. The audience not feeling Mr. Elixir, Mr. Streamer himself here on April Fool's Day.
A man gets a retwist, and all of a sudden, everything he says is lies.
Yeah, I'm just there with this like, well, you know, Digimon.
Oh boy,
right,
Andrew, were you the liar?
Egg on your face 2 times in a row. I'm telling the truth. I think that genuinely, there's enough accessible decks in the game where the skill floor can be nice and high.
But are they for every?
But what about the skill ceiling? Because I don't think we answered.
Yeah, the skill ceiling is changed based on like good decisions and finding through lines. The Andrew that got into Digimon in BT8 with armors is not the same Andrew that is playing armors today. I'm a much better player, even though the cards have basically not changed.
Yeah, bro makes this game so hard to play like he isn't just answering the questions. Yep, I understand. Don't worry about it.
It's about intent. I've learned.
Will the liar make themselves known to the audience, please?
It was me again. Yeah. Hello. Yes.
To be fair, Jamie didn't answer the question, so he
he was just like, "Oh,
as soon as you answered half the question."
Yeah, you both said the exact same thing. You both went, "Yeah, there sure are easy decks now," ignoring the high skill floor list.
My point here was I was running through the colors. Andrew was just talking about starter decks.
Yeah,
no, I was going to list off the rest of the colors.
You literally went through all
the colors. I literally said blue, green for Imperial.
No, yeah, you were like, Imperial teaches you Jawgrass, and Mastodon teaches you Jawgrass.
Yeah, bro, you didn't answer the second half of the question about the skill floor. You were getting there. But
I'm bad at timing
to get there.
I'm bad at timing.
Answered the question.
I love this game. This is the most fun I have every other week.
I said there are a bunch of easy decks. They're easy to pick up, but the good players will take those same cards and use them better. How is that not answering the question? Jamie said there are these decks.
Colors decks. Tom specified with there is every color. When have we had a good black starter deck that isn't Ragnarlord?
Ragnarlord's not a good black starter deck.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Just one.
No.
He got you there. He got you there.
Red. That's red. That's our red.
Excuse me. You literally get given black cards in your deck.
3.
Yeah, one of them. One.
Gankumon.
One of them.
What was
That's a
that?
good game.
Yellow got a good starter deck.
Shikarimon's really good. Yellow hasn't had a good starter deck.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say when I'm like, yeah, yellow and black.
Tom, can you
both
repeat
are-
the question for me? Because now
Yes, fellas, the question as you were supposed to respond to, I think Marcio just about got there. It is, there are enough beginner-friendly and high-skill floor decks in every color. So Marcio was like, there are no high-skill floor red decks, and he said there are no low-skill floor purple decks, therefore the statement is untrue. And then he was like, blue burr.
I was told to lie. And therefore I was like, yeah, there's a yellow and a black starter deck. They're not good though, but you know.
Yeah, this is the other thing, is we can't actually harp on Jamie. He's playing
was
Mem Gage
told to
the
lie.
Room.
yeah. But I mean, to be fair, I was just talking about like, really, I missed the last bit of the color, but I mean, it's gonna fix
How
itself.
did nobody talk about Beelzebub? Beelzebub is like literally the statement,
It
because
was-
the new
I
player
did
will
say
go,
Beels.
yeah, people will go, wow, this Beelzebub guy is really cool from Digimon Tamers. I love milling.
That's
Wait,
me.
why did I deck out? And then they'll be like, yeah, my name is Joshua Hernandez. I'm from Miami. I love Beelzebub. I play at every event. This is my top 16 at PPG. I played 4 training. Why is nobody playing 4 training in Beelzebub?
This
Dude,
is
already
what I mean.
gang.
The fact that we had to do an and then there was 2 ands in that statement. That's crazy. You said it's like, find the magical line.
Yep, I told you, if we're having 60 seconds, I'm making the questions a little bit more complicated.
Oh,
Yeah.
If I'd have timed myself correctly, I would have had the decent timing of, yeah, there's some pretty high skill decks on every color.
okay. Bar yellow. I mean, I think
Name one red high ceiling deck.
Unironically, I can tell you this.
Yes, man.
Well, yeah, I kind of think
Mr.
Justmon has
Yeah.
some high skill ceiling.
Mister, I will resolve my when Digivolvings and win the game.
Yeah, but then you've got to
There is
know
a-
you've got to know which sister to play out, what each sister does. You've got to see the line. You've got to not int the line into
Marcio,
some Numemon stack.
ignoring Jamie because he's bad at defending himself. In his defense, him and Trix were so much further ahead of every other Jesmon player that it wasn't funny. Like, you look at results and it just came down to like, oh yeah, 2 cards were different and they used them correctly. So like, that actually had skill expression.
Deck building, yes, but Jesmon is literally like, which sister you play? My brother in Christ, if you get given the sister, because there'll be games where you're sisterless, or you're hanging out with your aunties and all of your sisters, okay?
Bro, the congregation is always with you. What do you mean? It is Easter Monday, my friend. Jesus is with us.
Jesmon is like
You're gonna talk that out the Sister Mons on Bank Holiday Monday,
Yeah.
guy? That's messed up.
Jesmon is literally like, I'm going to see all my pieces or I'm going to see none of my pieces. And like, sure, when you see your pieces, you then are given lines, but the amount of games where you just lose because your deck just turns off,
Brother,
it's like,
they're always in the chapel. What do you mean? You call them when you
my
need
ceiling
them.
was just my ceiling was so high that I couldn't find a level 3, you know?
I never said there was space above me. I just said there was a ceiling above me.
Yeah, but that would be a high skill set. Anyways, yeah, third question. I still defend my take. Starter decks covers basically every color. I got most of it.
Well done, gentlemen. For we are going into our final round of Mem Gage the Room this week. The statement they will be responding to for this round 3 is, I know what the best deck in the next format will be.
We're talking about BT16.
The next format.
Is that EX6 and BT16 or just 16?
The
Yeah.
next format.
Okay, fine, whatever. I will play your game.
16 it is then, lads.
What's that?
So one more time for our live audience.
I gotta
These two
say-
fellas are going to be they're going to receive their information from me in our DMs now. I'm going to start doing this first so they have time to think about it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the release window. You will not.
Oh, right, I need to see actually my question.
16 is May and then
Oh, not the question, but my
EX6
statement.
is
Okay.
July.
All right, you've all been sent your instructions in our DMs once again. And one more time, the statement that these folks are responding to is, I know what the best deck in the next format will be. So they've given them time to think about it. They've all had their instructions sent over. I've drawn the straws out of my little web app. All is going well. These guys, I'm gonna riff a little bit longer. We're talking specifically about this in vague terms because I am trying to introduce some evergreen questions to Engage the Room, which we can use later on to start arguments on the internet.
Are we
I'm
saying the deck name that we think it is or no?
The statement you will be responding to
Oh.
is, I know what the best deck in the next format will be.
Oh no.
So, wait, hold on. Am
Sink
I?
or swim, Jamie. I'm no helicopter parent.
So let me get this right. Say for example, I have to answer the question like directly, right?
Yeah, you have to address the statement. I know what the best deck in the next format will be.
Try and get at least like 90% of the question correct, and let the rest of your co-hosts int for you.
Okay.
Let me give a quick scroll through the set again.
What's great is now that I understand that I'm back into the Tom verse, and I understand the game of the house always wins. My answer probably would have been the same regardless.
It's good to be king. Alrighty, boys. I think you've all had plenty of time.
Okay, H, you've also
and
got
if you don't know the exact cards in the next set, I don't think it's gonna matter. If
Jamie's going last, so he has 2 other people, one of which may be capping before him, to figure out his answer.
I'm gonna count you in, Andrew. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just gonna check Discord one last time. Yep, what I thought. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew will be assessing the statement. I know what the best deck in the next format will be in 3, 2, 1, and go.
I do believe, as a master of data analytics and being friends with the TommyNT, I am clued in as to what the next deck that will win the BT16 format will be. There's plenty of cards added. There's plenty of cards that get support. And I think that there is a clear favorite. In fact, I could probably even name the whole top 3. I'm just that confident that I know exactly what is going to win the next big event. Spend monocoins.
I'll cut you off there, guy. He doesn't even need the time. 21 seconds left to go. That's Andrew's opinion on the statement. I know what the best deck in the next format will be. But when we have to go forward to the next player comes up next in line. And Marcio, are you ready to answer the statement? I know what the best deck in the next format will be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't think I know what the best deck in the next format is, because people's perception of what the best deck is tends to go off of recent results or like random content creator influence. So while I think a deck would be like the best deck in the format, Johnny Smith across the street will probably think a different deck is better. So while sometimes there are clear best decks in the format, next format I have no clue. I can maybe guess like 5 decks that would be very good for an event, but even then, unless I playtest and I come to a conclusion where I think the best deck is, most of the time I just don't know. I just pick a deck that I think is good enough and I just rock with it.
I'll cut you off there. He only needed 50 of those 60 seconds, folks. He's that sure he's being 100% with you there on that take. But of course, the game goes in 3s. Jamie, are you ready to respond to the statement? I know what the best deck in the next format will be.
Oh, let's get it.
All right, I'll count you in.
Ready.
We're going 3, 2, 1, go.
I 100% know what the next deck is going to be. That is the winning deck across all the entire BT16 format here. Probably EX6 as well if Tom wants me to answer that, but I don't know. Right now he said next format, so BT16. It's going to be a purple, red, black, green, blue. It's going to be an orange deck, of course, as well. I'm joking about that one. I made that one up. But there's going to be blue in there somewhere, probably. I've already said blue. I don't know what's going on. It's going to be one of the colors. You'll find out.
I'll cut you off there, Jimmy. A crisp 35-second handoff to determine that he thinks the best deck in the format is orange. Alrighty then, chat room. What of these 3's giving answers to the statement, I know what the best deck in the next format will be, has sort of led you one way or another? Do we think Andrew... I gave you guys no stipulations. I was like, the statement is, I know what the best deck is. And not one of you said a deck.
Mm-hmm.
What else, Drew? You said
we checked, but we did not have to.
No, I know. It's great. Ain't gonna turn yourselves into a Twitter clip that way.
What color did I miss? What
color didn't
You
you miss?
forgot red.
I said red.
No.
Red was the first one.
You
I
said yellow, blue, green, purple, orange.
He's a Digimon player with color blindness. Come on.
It's so true. There's literally dozens of
What's
us.
the note Kato you made when you need it?
But chat room,
Orange
this
staccato.
is where you guys come in. Don't even tempt me on that. This is where you guys come in. I need to know which one of these folks gave you guys the heebie-jeebies and has got you thinking that perhaps they were not being 100% truthful in their opinion on that statement. They are all answering like they have a gun pointed at them. That gun is Andrew's YouTube shorts.
Yes, sir. Can I just say though? Look at the size of this chicken nugget. It's crazy.
Oh, it's orange. It's the next thing that's gonna win.
It's the next thing. Chicken nugget's gonna win.
Chicken
It's
nugget.
orange.
Bro, I got 2 of them, man. They're massive.
Now that we're not on the timer, right? I actually think the best deck is a pretty safe bet. I think
I didn't know if you wanted me to actually say a deck or it was like the idea of like knowing what a bet. That's why I was like, well, I don't always know what the best deck is because like, you know,
Yeah, but
you could.
Hey man, all I asked is if you knew what the best deck of the next format will be.
I didn't know
have
if I
as
was
much
allowed to
do with it
disagree
you
with the
want, 'cause-
statement.
Well, you just have to be honest.
yeah, you just have to be honest or lie, depending
Or
on
lie.
what's in your Discord DMs.
That is true.
Did you forget how you usually play this game? You're usually the
No.
best at disagreeing specifically with the statement.
That is very correct. But I think it's very funny that I think the bit for this week was to make Jamie lie 3 times.
There's
And
no
like-
bet. I am dead ass. I do use a random number generator. to
So-
control it.
But
See,
what he
that bit
doesn't
would've
know
been
is the
funny, though, if it
developers have put an April Fool's joke in, and they have just made it pick the third option every single time.
Every single time.
Because I love giving Andrew editing work, and this YouTube short will go crazy. Last week we had Tommy Tricks on for Misplay. Sorry for
Lethal.
Lethal. He was on Misplay. He's here for Lethal a Living, and he said nobody out there like Jamie Conquest has bad things happen to good people, and Jamie is good people who has bad things happen. So it would be very Jamie to get 3 weeks in a row of lying, right?
Actually, like answering the question, it's like, well, we know that like Nume armor vaccine is like the triangle to beat, right? Like if I was to actually answer the question based off of like next format, which would be as of recording BT16, those are like the 3 perceived best decks. But for all I know, Lord of Halifax is going to show up with Machine anyway. So why does that matter?
So real.
Okay, so
Andrew, do we have the numbers?
we do have the numbers.
Oh, we got a follower before we got the numbers.
Yeah, Lima TW and also Tordim5566. Thank you for the follow. And thank you to 100% of the vote for putting those monocoins on Marcio being the liar. Is that
You
the
guys
case?
thought I was lying? Why would I lie about not knowing what the... Do you think I just like have a fucking like board with like a tier list like at home in like red string and like, guys, I already know what the best deck is before the sets even come out. You know, it's just like,
Huang with your whiteboard behind you.
no, I generally like, if you know me in person, I just played that. Oh, what the fuck? Did we die?
No, we're here.
Well,
Did you
The
die?
stream preview, Discord
The
stream preview is up.
screen share.
Discord. Okay.
Okay.
You're good. Don't
Yeah,
even worry.
If you don't know me in person, I just pick my deck based off of vibes. Like I spent a whole
I've
format.
seen the board.
No, I picked my deck based off of vibes. For BT13, I was like, for the 3v3 event, I was testing Blue Flare because I thought it was a good pick. And then like a week before the event, I picked I brought Red Hybrid. Because I was just like, fuck it. I can't be bothered to think about what I have to do. I've played Red Hybrid before. I'll just do well with it. And I did.
But then you defaulted to Bloom again for regionals.
Okay, the reason why I picked Bloom for regionals was because somebody in the chat, Keosuchi, aka Osman, he wasn't going to be at the regional. So he had the...
Vibe check for game.
Yeah, but... so he like gave me and Emily like a Bloom list, and we tested that for the whole format. And I was like, this list is so good that like, if it's only like Emily playing it, it doesn't do it justice. The list was so good that like I had to play it just because it was that good.
Well,
Understandable.
the chat says Marcio, after all that hullabaloo, a lot of yapping, were you the liar?
I was not the liar. I was telling the truth. I don't know what the best deck is most of the time.
Our liar, of course, then, is Mr. Jamie Conquest, who not only completes the first triple win in MemGauge the Room history, he's also the first triple liar.
My brain, man.
Well done,
He was
Jamie.
triple liar. He was 0 points on all of them, and I feel like he answered 0 of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The best way to win is to just ignore the question.
Just steal off other people, innit?
Just tell us what your tournament run was instead, you know?
Yeah.
Tell me about the Monster starter deck.
Tell me about Jogger.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, right.
You want to learn about Jogger? You put 2 cards.
I knew his ass was lying the moment that he committed to just like Jamie. If
Listing
you're
the colors.
yeah, no. As soon as he said, "I know what the thing," I'm like, this guy couldn't tell you a single card that releases in BT16. There's no
I can, Torugoromon.
Bro said orange, and you guys didn't suss him out.
That's what I mean. Is
Yeah,
I said,
you
bro, I said
orange.
I'm looking at the colors here, and my brain goes, yes, red and yellow next to each other, orange.
What's crazy is you
you're
did you
describing
forget
shine.
that you were the liar because you started going, oh yeah, I know absolutely what it is, and then we're like,
No.
Wait, yeah,
it'll be something. Yeah, something's gonna win. There are cards in the Digimon game. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually a Mew. It's actually Mew. Mew V-Star.
Bro, I have no idea. I'm just looking at playing Dorogoromon. That is all.
You're not even playing Dor. Oh wait, yeah. For 16, yeah. I was gonna say you can't even play Dorogoro right now.
You play Goldramon. You're getting Goldramon. You love that guy.
I love Goldramon. Yeah, he's a cool.
I thought Andrew was gonna be like, oh hell yeah, dude, armors to the moon. But like, you actually gave like a reasonable answer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to have inflicted this psychological damage upon you. I hope all of you are still friends after this.
I got lied 3 times in a row, Tom.
Dude, I swear to God, I draw straws. You just drew the little straw.
Orange is crazy, and the fact that nobody picked up on it is even wilder.
Congratulations once again to Mr. Jamie Conquest. You are apparently the greatest of all time memory gauge the room player. We have nothing but decisive evidence to suggest any other thing to do with it. But thank you as always for watching live on twitch.tv/KnTElixar, where you guys can gamble along too. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't miss it live next time.
Remember, you can choose to abstain from memory gauge the room. The house does always win, but it's more fun when there's something on the line because you can be invested in no one answering the question correctly.
Fellas, I have one more thing I'd like to share with you. I got a DM recently, and there's been some stuff going on. There's been a lot of tournaments and a lot of really interesting card game developments for Digimon, the Bandai TCG space, card games this year. Card games, as they tend to be this year, are sick this year, like they are in kind of perpetuity. But I got a set of tournament results sent over by some friends recently, and I would love to go over them with you if you guys have some time. I know we're coming up on 9 p.m. Oh, we've just gone past 9 p.m. Maybe we'll only spend a couple minutes on this. But for those who are kind of new fans of Misplay for Game, we tended to start out with doing kind of like a West versus East format meta review. And I would love to have a chance to do that here today with you guys. Feels like an important... Episode 10 is a big deal, man. A lot of folks don't get a chance to go through big events continuously like this. So if we've got a sec, I've gone ahead and dropped an event in the Discord chat for us, Andrew. If you'd like to pull that one up on stage, I'd appreciate it a bunch. On stage, look at me, like a little showman. All right. You want to pull that puppy up for me, big dog?
Yeah, opened on the wrong tab. Let's go over to... I think this is...
Oh, interesting. So, much like we like to do our East versus West meta reviews,
God damn it.
The Vancouver Regional took place in Canada this last week, and it was a really exciting event because it was the final pre-rotation event of the Pokemon TCG Standard format.
Mew to the moon, the best deck that game ever had.
Do they have an orange deck?
There is, in fact, an orange deck in here. I would like to make special mention to NT V Toolbox for being, I think that's kind of orange.
Hell yeah.
But we got some stuff to talk about because Pokemon, guys, this was the final format event of the EFG block rotation. And there are some things to take away from it that I think are exciting. I've also gone ahead and posted in this chat, in our Discord chat a second Eastern event to cover, kind of as a side-by-side. This is the Thailand regional. They are also playing best of 3 format over there, so it's a little bit interesting. But the way that the format has broken down is, I think I've got you on statistics. If you go to results here, Andrew, you can have a better look at seeing who placed where and what won.
I'm gonna be honest, I was temporarily stunlocked. So I saw Miraidon and the Gouging Fire. I was like, Gouging Fire is in the card game? I thought we were on VGC for a second.
As a temporal force.
So let's talk Pokemon, guys. You guys been playing any standard this year? What kind of decks do you think about playing post-rotation?
Is Iron Valiant still playable?
Yeah, it's very good, actually.
It looks, I mean, he's a cool looking mon. Big fan.
Jamie, I know you send me DMs about Pokemon cards semi-regularly. Do you want to learn a little bit about standard rotation?
Hell yeah, I'm always down for it. I've been looking at the Torterra deck from Temporal Forces at the moment.
Really?
You know, that deck's looking a bit strong. His ability's kind of broken.
I can't tell if he's reading off a wiki or a Reddit post, and he's just committing to the memory gauge the room bit, and he's just like, yeah, dude, I love Pokemons.
No, I'm actually being serious. Torterra and Incineroar are kind of a little bit bookie wild and thingy, but...
Well, let's go through some of these here. So we've got a couple lists that are pretty exciting. Gardevoir, in its final showing pre-rotation, has had the top it needed to take the whole event. I believe it was...
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
It was 3rd and 4th place. It did not win the whole event. Miraidon won the entire event in Canada. Second up by Snorlax Stall. And listen, if we're consistent with anything here on Misplay for Game, it is that we're not the biggest fan of do-nothing healing control decks. Snorlax Stall, shades of Setcon if you squint. But it's a really interesting format. I'll miss some of the EFG format rotation. We can't really move on without talking about Mew. Mew VMAX is its all-time, perhaps the greatest standard deck ever printed.
For sure.
Is it still booty broken?
This was its last ride. Colin Murley Matthews taking it to 5th place, just narrowly missing out on, I think, a ton of prize money. Like
could
an
not be a
absolute
Digimon player.
$5,000, $5,000 USD he missed out on by bubbling.
A world where I could win $5,000 by playing Bloom Lord.
Well, you could miss out on $5,000 by bubbling.
Colin's prize pool takeaway was $3,000 USD. He only missed $2,000 by bubbling to 5th place.
Okay, that's not
but, yeah, only $2,000 by bubbling to 5th place. But if you want to go ahead and pull up the Mew list, Andrew, we could take a second to talk about that.
That's crazy to me that Gardevoir got like 3rd and 4th, considering like Charizard's running around.
They just have a really favorable price trade with them in the late game. And then the other thing Charizard does not like is Stall. But I would love to... go ahead.
I was going to say, it's also crazy to me that Pokemon players will willingly put themselves through like floodgates. Have you guys read Path to the Peak? That guy's just like, your deck just doesn't work. Imagine Pokemon, but for Digivolution. Okay, I'm describing Gargo Ace.
Yeah.
And I'm not biased because the card's green. But imagine if like you had like a War Greymon that was like blanket effect until the end of your opponent's turn. Your opponent's Digimon effects just don't work. That's what
Venusmon
is. This card essentially.
That is kind of like Venusmon. Yeah,
that is Venusmon.
Yeah, you're describing Venusmon. But it would be more like if Venusmon was on a delay option that you could trigger over and over and over again.
Yep.
You have to like stadium bump each other to like actually
or to use like Lost Vacuum to remove delay options. Yeah.
It's fine though, because we're starting to get rule boxes now. So Digimon with a rule box no longer have that rule box.
Is that what the aces are?
Aces are rule box stuff. Yeah, it's tight.
They're two prizers.
I do want to point out Fusion Mew finishing its event, finishing its life in the standard format at a grand total of $36.96 USD on TCG Player. You could build this deck for less than a playset of Rapidmons.
That's
or even one really shiny Rapidmon.
Oh, yeah, you could build 12 of this deck for one really shiny Rapidmon. Yeah, it's exciting. Love to see where the format goes after this. We can switch over to Thailand really quick to see that there were some exciting results over there. I want to point out one particular player, Surawat, taking all the way to 2nd place with Dialga Matang. This is a tight deck. It is literally Metal Turbo. If you like Dialga, the way this deck works is when it uses its big attack, you don't pass turn to the opponent, you take a second turn. You do a little time shenanigans. Really cool deck. this is one of the highly anticipated archetypes leading into rotation. A lot of people are saying it has the legs to go all the way.
But when you do Zubamon plus Kai and So, turn skip, then that's cringe.
Yeah. Well, you can only do this once per game.
Yeah, like this is the deck I would play on TCG Live. This is my go-to, and because it's his V star power to not pass turn, basically to just reset your turn. You can only use it once per match.
Mm-hmm.
So it's balanced in that sense, but it still does a ton of damage.
I hate metal.
Yeah, metal has had a couple decks over the years where I'm like, whoa.
Real stinkers. Like, you guys remember ADP?
You remember Luca Metal? My hair comes out when I think about it.
Yeah,
Lucario Melmetal Tag Team GX? No, thank you. Not even once.
Real stinkers.
But that, of course, concludes my excellent April Fool's Day bit. Don't worry, live audience. This is still predominantly a Digimon.
ADP was my introduction to Pokemon. Oh, the days.
But also at the same time, we are obviously a Digimon podcast. I mean, it's in the logo. But misplay for game. You can misplay in any game. Hell, if people start sending me clips in random ass TCGs,
oh
for
my
Lethal
god,
or
I would
Living,
love that.
Lethal or Living will stop being a Digimon lethal thing, and you're gonna open up Vice Swartz and be like, yeah, they're dead. And have no idea what's going on.
We get like a GoPro rip of like a Duel Masters upload from YouTube from like 2009. Me and Marcio ascend to the astral plane while I complain about how good my Worms deck that never got finished was.
Dude, you're gonna see someone be like, can you check the quality options? Like 1440p, it kills.
No, the best one would actually be Vanguard. Like, you're swinging.
We'll get Jamie back on for the Vanguard.
Oh yeah, Vanguard Divines, bro, you're dead.
You'll go like I don't fucking know, swing Draconic Overlord. Will this kill? And then check like OT crit, and it's just like
it kills.
It kills. You're dead.
It's gonna be like, how many heal triggers have been revealed this game? Like,
Bro, they finally actually.
I actually might be able to find some Vanguard Zero clips, unironically.
They finally actually showed off the Overtrigger 12 episodes into Divine season, by the way.
That's amazing.
So there's no new ones I'd like to point out right now. They're all the same.
Vanguard sucks.
Oh, you know, as we're speaking about other card games, though, do we want to cover Yu-Gi-Oh?
What would you want to cover?
We want to cover how...
No Gaijins on the time list,
actually.
No Gaijins?
Yeah, straight up.
It's not actually that bad, right? I was told that it was kind of...
No,
it's bad.
It's bad. Here's the thing, right? So basically this is how it goes, right? So it's like a different fight. He's like a Vanguard guy, and he's like, oh, this is really weird. They're doing this thing, and it's like, you can't like enter the event or like represent because like you're a foreigner, basically. I'm dumbing it down.
God, you have to be a citizen.
Yes, you have to be a citizen. Right. But we didn't know that straight away, right? So it was just like, oh yeah, the first initial perception was like, oh, can't play because blah blah blah, I'm not Japanese. And then some guy on Reddit, he's like, stupid Baka Gaijin, classic case of not reading the fine print. They don't know kanji. So it turns out it's obviously to represent Japan, guys, and you need citizenship. And it's just like, wait, so it is as bad as we thought it was from the beginning.
This is an April Fool's Day joke we're playing, by the way. It's really bad.
Yeah, this has been... It's funny because like Mega Capital G put out a video today. It's like, damn, the Yu-Gi-Oh rule sets is, you know, as whack as we think. It's like, oh, is he going to talk about the Japan thing? No, like the NorCal regionals or whatever are also like messed up as well because they changed it to invite only, and because on their worlds formats have been very similar to how we do Euros here for Digimon, where instead of it being, well, I mean, even I guess now US Nats is also open, where like their world's format is an open bracket, but if you qualified for other things, then I think you get like bye rounds. They just kind of on the fly changed it to an invite only thing, so now you can only attend US Nats if you have your regional invite already.
That's always been the case.
No, before it was an open. They had like open tournament. I mean, that's what people are complaining about now. Is like they changed.
Only last year it was open, right?
Well, they changed.
Usually for Yu-Gi-Oh, you need like an invite, which you can earn from like, I think like top 64 at a regional gets you like an invite. But for Yu-Gi-Oh Nats and like Euros equivalent, you need an invite. Is it for Worlds or something that like is messed up for?
It is for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Japan Championship, which began on
No.
March
The thing that
1st.
Andrew's talking about, right?
Let me just double check it. Let me double check it whilst you guys keep going, but I'm pretty sure it. So
This is crazy.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! in a while.
Oh, wait. So I think it's that you just can't even spectate. I think it's only open to the duelists that qualify to compete. So
What?
it's not a spectator event anymore, which is
Oh, so
significantly less.
Nats is only So Nats doesn't allow for like spectators. You can't show up to Nats and like do side events and shit, basically.
Weird. I mean,
Or like
the
last
world,
chance qualifiers.
correct me if I'm wrong, the World Championship stream was like in a like corporate rental office last year, right? Like 8
Yeah.
tables.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of like been on fire for the past like 3 months, like very low key. The fact
Fire
that
type
like,
monsters, you mean?
yeah. So it's basically like it started off with speed duels are getting like canceled in Europe, and honestly, just Yu-Gi-Oh! In general is getting like kind of canceled in Europe. They're just like no European YCSs, no speed duel side set. Just like for some reason, Konami is just like, yeah, Europe is not real, guys. In Europe, guys, you stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Go play something else.
Yeah.
Comes to Digimon.
To be fair.
So that's kind of rough. And then there's also like it's not open to, but the Japan was like, yeah, it's not open to people that live in Japan either. We want to see your birth certificate.
They actually have to be citizens, which is crazy.
Gaijin Pass?
It's not even resident. You don't. It's not like you pay tax there. It's like citizen.
No, citizen, yeah. So it is as bad.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's wild.
Wow. Well,
Okay,
you know,
that's
it could
crazy.
always. Hey, fellas, it could always be worse, right? They could be actively closing the card game you like down. So
That's what I'm saying. We passed the vibe check from Bandai. Our game did not get cancelled after like 14 sets or whatever. Though it
Yep.
didn't get rebooted. That's what usually happens to like Vanguard.
mhm.
So we passed the 14 set curse. So it can only go
Uh-huh.
up from here.
This is a good time to remind everybody to support your local game stores. I don't think we've done that since like episode 1 of Misplay for Game, but like I think it's worth reminding here as we're getting to episode 10 that very little of our like we consider at least exciting local scene, regional scene would be possible without the folks that run the local stores and events like that. Or even, you know, with a smaller scene like that, sometimes it can be folks like Digicord that run off of a Patreon support to run a weekly online locals. Like the barrier to entry is what we make it as a local community, and it is important to represent that with the stores we support, either financially or with word of mouth or by any other means. So,
And also
great
your
time to remind
creators.
people.
We all do this for
Yeah.
a labor of love, but also it helps when we have the support to be able to do things like this. Like I'm sure I could probably sucker Marcio and Tom into showing up every week to ruin their weekend talking about Digimon every single week. But it helps when you guys also can make things doable. We appreciate all the follows and subs today. And as I said, the month-long project that was the DP minus video is out, and I want to do them more frequently instead of every 2 months. So the support goes a long way, and we want to give back to you guys eventually. We're still looking at the case tournament, and I've got some other things I need to talk to the boys about just to try and make sure the prizing can even go further, so we can have a hella people show up. But stuff like that, like when you see the chance to signal boost something, do it. Be it your local store, be it a creator you like, be it just like an event that's being put on. OPE ran a little event that for like an unrestricted tournament that got a little bit of buzz but didn't quite have the turnout. Stuff like that, where you have the ability to support it, do your best. It goes a long way to even just get it in front of the eyes of someone that might then support it, even if you can't. So signal boosting things like this goes a long way. Supporting your local stores where you can, as long as they are not taking the piss, is important. And I mean, Digimon wouldn't be here without the people that are the backbone of the community and the scene. Even, I mean, if Melee, where its developers hate it, can survive for 20 years, our game can survive for as long as we need it to, even if they stop printing new cardboard.
I think the maneuver is I'm gonna open up like a TikTok account and I'll just like start like Digimon posting, just like do like what's like
we have a TikTok.
No, but like a separate one, you know, like
right.
a TikTok that is different to this one, so we have twice as many accounts, and then I'll link the second account to this one as well.
And he's then going to start reposting the original clips and
I
reacting
duet.
to them. He's going to look at
Yeah.
like,
You're like in the corner of the screen. You're like down here, and you're like, that's funny. Reacting.
I'll do
Like,
that to like
oh, yeah,
primitive.
That's true.
I'll do that to like Primitive's like locals runs when he does like local runs on like TikTok, and I'm just like, wow.
He'll do the
insane.
react content of him getting clipped in Misplay for Games. Like, this
Ooh,
guy
that
was
was a-
spitting though. And it's just
Who's
him.
this guy?
Who podcasted this?
That's so smart. I should start doing that.
I can't wait for
Yeah, you
Marcio
should
to
do
just
that.
You
kind of...
haven't been doing that? You're trolling. Come on.
Marcio's going to
I'm
deplatform Marcio. He's like, this guy can't be trusted. We need to talk about KBeeDS.
Says he's a Bloom player, hasn't taken it to an event in 6 months. But that's a lot of us plugging stuff.
I started
Jamie,
counting when was Liverpool, and that Liverpool was like 5 months ago, so I'm fine.
It's April 1st now, amigo.
Well,
It's
not
gonna
the
take
time,
more-
by the time this
Jamie.
comes out on like, I don't know, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, it'll be April 2nd. If you're watching it and
Yeah, that Pokemon bit won't age well if you're not watching it live.
it is what
Why
it
did they
is.
start talking about Pokemon all of a sudden?
Mew VMAX is annoying, but I don't want to talk about it now.
I love Past to the Peak.
It rotated. We're saved. Anyway, Jamie, I'm trying to get you to plug your stuff, big man. You got anything you want to shout out? Any perhaps project in the mold?
I get what you're hinting at here, Tom, and I appreciate it. So basically, the last time I was on here, we spoke about like accessories and stuff, and I kind of pointed out I don't have an actual one with me.
Bro, you
the-
had
the
one
va-
on
Oh,
you.
you had one
You
job.
DM'd me one earlier before.
Yeah,
we
no,
started.
no. I've got one of mine.
job.
I don't have the originals.
Okay.
I can go get one whilst you waffle. One sec.
Sure. Basically, we spoke about the markers that I had, where it's like the Vanguard ones that have the plus whatever's on it and the critical stuff. I'm basically looking at making handmade resin versions of that, and I've got one here for you to show off, which I kind of showed off a little bit earlier with the blocker, but we've got that blocker
Ooh, with the Digimon font.
with the Digimon font.
Very
Oh, hell
cool.
yeah.
Plus
Oh, 2
2000.
KDP? I love
Plus
3
2000.
KDP. Oh, yeah. 4 KDP.
So they are all handcrafted, all sanded and everything. I'm looking at trying to get them up on sale, just
Like an
so that
Etsy or
they're
something?
available to
We'll get the
everybody.
Etsy store kicked up.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at it right now as we speak.
But
But,
there a Twitter handle to follow us so that we can
Russian.
Russian? So great.
Russian. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, which is I always forget. Is it Minikill89 for me?
So
It is.
Andrew
At
has
Minikill.
Andrew has like the Vanguard ones, which are like the
these are
Vanguard members.
the inspo ones. They're not
Yeah.
in focus, but yeah, they're like.
But we like Jamie's better because they have the cool Digimon font.
I have the
And it's
Digimon font.
dope to support the local folks.
I know how cameras work. I can
The-
do things.
The other thing is
You gotta go like that.
the other thing is
You gotta go like that.
these are dummy expensive for no reason because they don't make
Oh,
them
yeah.
in the English product. So Jamie is not only supporting Digimon, but other games can also use these as well, and we want
Yeah.
to, I don't know, support. them
So
where we
they
can.
do sell them in English product, but you only get two in
Two,
them, which
yeah.
is the plus 5,000 and the plus 1,000s. And they come in the starter deck. But if you try and
get-
buy them alone, you get two for the price of £20. 20 great
Yeah.
British pounds.
And then you have two choices. You have girl blue and boy orange.
Yeah, and then the Asian
That's
ones
me, I'm
have
boy
the red
orange.
one as well. The red and black ones as well. But no,
One of them
I
is in
have-
the Shaman King deck, which is like, who's buying Shaman King?
Oh, that's where I
yeah,
have
it's
my orange one
funny.
that I used in
Yeah.
a video this week.
Yeah, that's Shaman King.
So I've got like 26 different colors I can do them in. Trying to figure out. This is a red one, but it looks kind of pink, I guess. No, it looks red on camera.
No, that's
All right,
right on
cool.
camera.
How long does it take you to make each one?
So the resin takes literally like 30 minutes to mix, and then it takes roughly 24 hours to set. From there, sanding and polishing is, well, it's not really polished properly, but I'm looking into that bit still. But the sanding takes about an hour for the set of 3. Speaking of set of 3, looking at about £12.
Yeah, so significantly cheaper.
Yeah, and you get one.
Could you
more
do it
for
like? Could you do like custom orders where, like, say for example, if I'm a green player and I want like piercing, can't unsuspend. What are some other relevant?
Alliance.
Alliance and
Digizorb.
Digizorb. Could I?
Yeah. So I'm currently looking at how to set that up. Like Marcio said, like Etsy is probably the way to go, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that properly. Just trying to figure out a way to get the nice little stickers for the words to come out properly.
Yeah, we'll figure something out, and Etsy also does discount codes, so
Yes.
even if that price bit doesn't hold up, maybe discount code, maybe Misplay for game to get
I was
amount
gonna
off.
say. Maybe we get like a blue one, an orange one, and a green one when you buy a Misplay for game coupon code.
Somebody put.
I gotta make orange ones specifically now.
Looks like put in the chat like a custom one would be more expensive because you need new molds. But the words themselves, are you doing it through like stickers or is it like?
So yeah, the words and the numbers are all like vinyl stickers placed on top. So it probably wouldn't be too much more expensive. But if I was to do like super custom ones, I'd probably look at doing a little bit more simply because if I just bulk print a bunch of like 1,000, 2,000, for example, that's going to be a lot easier than having to reprint like.
Technically, now that you have stickers and they technically imprint, couldn't you make new molds with the imprinted versions that then you can reverse mold so you actually can start getting indents?
You make a good point.
Because that was the problem that we had, is that you didn't have a way of getting an inset, like because Jamie also makes dice, is how this all started.
So your idea is like the numbers are like buffed out as opposed to being in. So like if I wanted to indent them to make the numbers a different color or to fill them with paint or something, it would have to go the other way. I would have to literally have them indented into the blank.
Anything can be an indent if you make enough mold.
Huh?
But that's a question for our sister podcast, Molding for Game Pieces.
What?
I'll talk to you about
Alright.
it after. Don't worry about it. Thanks
It goes
everyone.
the other way.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, thanks everyone for showing up for episode 10 of the Misplay for Game podcast. As you can see, now that we're in double digits, I'm gonna have to move that little bit at the bottom.
Yeah, the
To,
10
Yeah,
is.
sneaking out of there, huh?
But yeah, we weren't sure we were gonna get this far. We certainly have. Hope you guys enjoy it and all of the changes we've been slowly making to the pod. I don't think Tom remembered to say, but if you want to send us takes for Memory Gauge of the Room, use !M4G takes in the Twitch chat, and it will give you the link to the Google form that you can submit your takes. And whilst you're there, also !M4G clips should give you the Google form for the Lethal or Living ones. If those aren't working, they'll also be pinned in the top comment of the YouTube video. So for people that are seeing this randomly stitched onto the end of the YouTube video, we're in 4 vertical cams because we forgot to do this at the end of the actual segment. Thank you.
I'm really good at running the show.
Editing Andrew coming through. But yeah, submit takes. It makes our lives a whole lot easier for when we try and do these game shows.
Please follow MCRDTCG on Twitter or X. That's the account we've just made for the like larger, greater Manchester / Northern UK Digimon scene. If you have things you'd like to include on the podcast there, DMs are open. You know how to hit us up. And you know, we're also on there too, so you can just follow us for other stuff as well. Is there anything else? Shoutouts Fanboy3. Appreciate the locals. Shoutouts to the people who have been watching. We've had some folks who I've seen in every single one of our live chats for all 10 episodes. We took a bit of a break in the middle there for some stuff, but we appreciate y'all nonetheless. It's kind of funny that we got to number 10 on April Fool's Day. I'm just glad we're doing these.
Yeah, and one last shout out to the DP minus video because we want that thing to go nuclear like the Digi Cross one did, because then we can afford to do more other weird shit.
I love weird stuff.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I can't get enough of weird stuff.
Yeah. We'll let you know when we have like a cool, like an actual update on the case 20, but I don't know. We're trying to do bigger and better things because some people think the Digimon content is getting stale. I am not one of them. If you know where to look, there is brand new Digimon around every corner. And yeah, we're going to try and keep putting on as many very things that you guys like as possible for as long as possible. And I'll be streaming tomorrow for like random shit. Like I'm a full-time streamer now, so if you want to farm mono coins, you know what? That's actually it. If you are struggling for mono coins because maybe that 3 of the hosts that are playing a 3-person game are fucking stupid.
Whoa!
Ooh, definitely not me. Couldn't be me.
It could be any 3, just like there are.
We have. I'm sorry. the three of us would have to be Andrew, Marcio, and I, because Jamie is decisively the champion of memory games.
Yeah,
for the
true.
room.
So if you're just, if you couldn't see through the Galaxy Brain IQ that was the Minikill lying this week, and you are hurting, and you don't feel like doing your follows, yeah, you can, I don't know, chill in streams, hang out with me, and you'll get mono coins that you can then lose in Lethal or Living or Memory Games of the Room, or steal from your fellow people that aren't chilling in the streams. Really make them bankrupt and hoard all the games. You could be like TommyNT and bet 10k on a clip, and you better hope.
That was nuts. I'm still shook up about that one.
Wait, which one did he spend 10k?
He spent 10k on a.
This guy hasn't watched the Friday Lethal or Living compilation.
Friday, that was from like 2 weeks ago. No, that was the one with Terry.
Oh no, that's it. They're edited together now.
It's
said
in the opening that it's 2 weeks of Lethal or Living.
It's
an hour-long video, Jamie.
I was watching it on the train, right?
Yeah, same.
On the train.
And I laughed out loud on the train when he bet 10k again. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with this. Tune into streams because I'll be doing them more frequently because I'm full-time streaming, and it will help you get mono coins so you can monopolize the bets in whatever way you want for your future game shows. I think that's basically everything. We done another excellent episode in the books. I just dropped mayo on the floor.
Oh, that's what they call it.
That's a real misplay for game.
That is just not.
And it's like, sorry, edit in that later, Andrew. That'll be like a slam cut with like the I don't know, like the Friends theme or something, or like no, what's so common? Everywhere you look, and it's like
you get it, anyway. In the sauce.
I spent too long looking at Premiere today, guys.
Yeah, we might have some bonus content. We might not. Who knows? Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh my god, be a channel member. See you later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.